Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Especially coming from the aspect of a single person. So what makes you feel safe enough to accept support without feeling like you're relinquishing control? Because if you're a single mom, you feel like you have to do everything yourself or it doesn't get done. So what are those things that you look for, or those signs that you look for in a guy that makes you say, okay, I can trust him enough for his support?
I just feel like how am I supposed to know? You seem like this strong person here. How do I know you need help if you're not asking for that help?
With the gaslighting and the guilt tripping and the invalidation of your feelings and the using, like you said, people who use what you say against you. When you try to be vulnerable and open with them. So those, there's been enough toxic. So I'm most grateful for my healthy relationships, and that, be it family or friends, because we can't choose our family, but we can damn sure choose our friends.
Like I said earlier, this is your rule. This is your idea. You said that men can identify as women, that they can say that they're women, and nobody is allowed to question them. Nobody's allowed to tell them that they're wrong, that it's not true. Nobody's allowed to ask any questions. Old men that identify as kids, which, by the way, just means that if they identify as a 12-year-old, then it's okay for them to mess around with, say, a 10-year-old. Slippery slope.
I'm up to it. I'm up to it. I'm up to it.
I'm with it.
We going there. I'm up to it.
We live.
That's the show, Dada.
I'm just minding my business. I'm just minding my business. I'm just minding my.
Hey, Katie. Mama wig ain't glued on that much, so it's gonna fall off.
You can't go no damn well.
Baby.
Yes, baby.
What do you call a Mexican fighting with a Catholic priest?
What?
Alien versus Predator.
Hey! No.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm literally a fucking 10.
Baby! Do you know what an overweight person that identifies as a skinny person is called?
What?
Translender.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
I saw the other day a person saying, don't call me he or she, call me they. And I was like, what the fuck? It took me 3 years to learn I am, you are, he is, she. This whole gender neutral pronoun is confusing for me. Let me tell you a story. I invited a friend to have dinner at my house the other day. And he was like, oh, I'm bringing a friend. And I said, of course, bring him. He was like, no, bring them. So I bought a lot of food. I bought briskets and pizzas and pastas. And my friend showed up at my house with one person. So I said, where are they? And he said, they are here. So you tell them that they're gonna eat all of this fucking food.
Excuse me, ma'am. No porn at the bar.
Oh, it's okay. I'm transgender.
Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time.
You'd have to recognize that being a lesbian woman of color does, affect 3 different protected groups and classes. Now, because of that, I've come out and been recognized as the first woman of color in the history of Delaware County Council. Now, I don't believe that they're going to give me any awards for that, but it's possible they may name some local park after me or something. We'll see what the future holds.
What's really brave about you is that you came out as a trans woman of color, and yet you have changed nothing about yourself physically. So you're just literally the exact same person.
Oh, yes.
But at the same time, you're a woman of color.
I did take the step of changing my name. I used to go by Ryan, which would be Ryan, the male version, but now I'm using the name Ryan, but it's the female version.
Boys are boys from the beginning. Girls are girls right from the start.
Life for 400, please.
In common law, the age of this, signaling adulthood, is presumed to be 14 in boys and 12 in girls. Tom?
What is the age of consent?
No.
God, what I wouldn't do to that. What? No, it's not even mine. I just clicked on it. And come on, it's not like it's gay corn. It's gay corn. It was baby corn.
Because yeah, we definitely gonna talk about that. We out here, we in this sheet, baby.
Yeah. What's good?
Unbelievable. We all made it to yet another week. As always, round of applause for all of you. For all of you, my good people out there in the world. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Assuming we can still call you that. Welcome back again on a Friday night with your Friday Night Delights, your boys. For here for the most organic station on the internet. And we're going to try to dial it down a little bit. I'm trying to keep it chill. We ain't going to go too crazy. I'm lying. We're probably going to go crazy, but not too crazy. All
and
right?
That's not how we started. That's not how we started.
That's not how we started. That's not how we started?
No, none of those videos were turned down anything for what? Oh. Yeah.
They weren't. They called my bluff, yo. They called my bluff. I said we're gonna try to keep it chill. There ain't nothing chill. We don't chill out here. We already a couple shots in. I already got mine poured on deck. It's time to have some fun. All right. So here we go. Y'all know me. I'm the great and terrible Trey, as it says right there. We got a lot of stuff to bring to y'all today. A lot of good conversation backed by popular demand. We're going to talk a little bit more about the burden of manhood. As some of our listeners actually said that they wanted us to stay there and talk a little bit more about that. So we're going to get to that later, along with a whole host of other things. So get ready, sit back, relax, pour a glass, and talk some trash with your boys. That said, Kev, my man, intro time. I know you had a long week, so you probably got some good stuff in the cup over there. Talk to us, my brother. What's going on?
What's good, everybody? Happy Friday. If you got paid today, happy payday. If you got paid today, that means you're paying bills today. So, shout out to all of the things. What are we on this evening? Y'all gotta forgive me. This Heat game is distracting, but I need us to win. All right. So we've gone back to the Bondstone bourbon whiskey, and yeah, the kind of week that it's been, we need to. This is the only option. 45% by volume. Absolutely delicious, and I've drunk it straight. Introduced this a little while ago. Y'all see, I've been saving this because it's some quality stuff. But tonight I am mixing it because I still. We not even gonna talk about what happened last week, whatever. But we mixing it with the dope pineapple juice, super smooth. Can't even taste the whiskey. So actually, this might be like next week, whatever. I got water too. We're gonna find our way. All I gotta do is crawl to the room or fall asleep again, like I did last. Whatever. All right, drinks up. Come on, look, I am.
It's gonna be that kind of night, y'all. It's gonna be that kind of night.
All of that.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm here for all of that, man. That whiskey actually looks amazing, looks great. I'm looking at my shots right here and my roly. So yeah, I'm ready. We will have us a good night. LB, ladies and gentlemen, down bottom, the inspirational, motivational, often imitated, never duplicated, King Rich.
Oh man, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is fine like wine and getting better with time. All right. I don't know if you can see. I'm drinking on that Stella. That Stella right here. If you haven't had this yet, I encourage you to go get the Stella Rosa Tropical Mango. It is delicious. All right. So that's what I'm drinking on. And this is what I'm sipping on. So I'm drinking on, but then I'm sipping on. All right. I had to go back to the Weller. He was in the cellar. I talked to the Deller, but I had to come back and say, I got to get this Weller. So, yeah, that's what's going on. I ain't got too much, man. We're getting ready to get into some stuff tonight, and it's going to be good. Stay tuned. The only thing that came to me this morning, was, on the daily basis, we're all going through something. But I'm confident that we're built to handle those things and get through it. So just have that confidence, remind yourself that it's not where you are, but it's where you're going, continue to stay on that journey. And let's have some fun tonight, man. We're going to take your mind off of that stress and whatnot. You're going to have some laughs. We're going to make you think. You're probably going to hate us at some point during the show. So all of it. Let's get on this roller coaster. Fantastic voyage. Let's go.
I don't know. Fantastic voyage.
Y'all don't remember that. You can't. You don't know who Coolio is. You're too young for this show.
Young Clipper Snappers.
Clipper Snappers.
Youngins out there. Young blood.
Yo,
Speaking of youngins. Go ahead.
I was playing Frankie Beverly and Maze today, and one of the teachers was like, what is that? And she's like probably 20 years older than me. I'm like, lady, get your life together. Get your life together. It was happy feelings,
Oh my gosh.
They got to do better, man. They got to do better.
Gotta do better.
That's ridiculous. She was a coworker?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man.
She's too young to be in that school. She's too young to be teaching.
She's 20 years older than me.
He said older. Yes.
He's older.
Oh. Well, I'm not gonna say anything else. We're gonna go ahead and move over to Q. I'm just leave it at that. Q Dog, Kamikaze. What up, fella?
What it is, y'all. Fam, friends, frenemies, everybody in between was good. It's another weekend, and we here to have some fun, y'all. Look, I'm just getting in with work. I'm kicking back, trying to kick it with y'all. So for the time being, what I'm sipping on is El Chavo Mango Habanero beer. And it's been a kind of a weekend that I need this. I'm keeping it consistent with the Cha-Cha Brandy. This is my Palmer's Fuse Citrus Brandy that I'm sipping on from last week, keeping it consistent, but classy all at the same time. But we about to kick y'all with some good news for this weekend. We trying to get some fun, so let's get into it, y'all.
Bro, you said mango habanero beer?
Yes.
Oh shit.
I like the cha-cha.
That's tough. That sounds good, yo. That sounds good. Well, hey man, look, we all got our drinks ready. I wanted to take a shot for GP. What y'all trying to do?
Listen, kind of week. Kind of weak. We
Come on.
minus 12.
Let's get it
We-
in.
We'll take y'all back old school when we do the shot that's for you. I ain't got no video for it, so we just gonna take the shot. So yeah.
Look, don't judge me judging mine.
12 de mayo.
I'm taking
12. Beautiful. Nice move. And what up to the audience? Jazzy, what's happening? I see you out here. What up, girl? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
And again, happy Friday to everybody out there. With all that being said, I know Kev, you said the Heat game was distracting you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's dive back into the playoffs, man. A few things I gotta admit they didn't exactly shape up the way I expected, but I'm here for it.
I was getting ready to say, I hope we had what we said written down, because it looked like, I mean, all of these games, nobody got swept yet, right? So,
nah.
Hey, man.
Everybody's the only ones done are Denver. They finished off.
Denver.
They finished off Phoenix last night.
And I had Denver at 5 in that one, so I was off by 1. But hey,
close.
I think I said all the games are pretty much going to go to 7. I think, didn't I?
Yeah, you pretty much. Yeah.
I said all of them go to 7.
The thing is, damn near all of them about to go to 7. I think Miami's gonna finish off New York.
Nuggets.
Miami's gonna finish off New York. Like I think I did say that. Yep, Miami is 6. I did say that.
Yeah, I know I said that.
Yep. We got LA Golden State tomorrow.
Tonight.
I'm sorry, tonight. You're right. Tonight, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah.
Is it over tonight, or is it gonna be another game on Sunday?
No, I actually. So I don't know if y'all seen the video of the dog that was kicking the balls into the basket.
Yeah.
He said that Golden State's got to go and win 3 in a row. So, and he ain't been wrong to this point. So
that's too wild.
I think we're headed to a game 7.
He got the script, man. He's got the script.
And if that dog wins, then the government's coming after that dog.
And probably try to turn it into a cat. Yeah. All right. Well, here we are. We got just to recap again. We got Lakers up 3-2. The Corgi says it's gonna go to 7. Y'all agree? Yeah. Okay.
You said, yeah, man. It's the game 7. And then the Celtics and the Sixers, we already said them. They going to 7, right?
Yeah, they're going to 7. I know I didn't pick that. I picked Boston at 6.
I really thought Boston was going to get that done sooner.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be over. I didn't.
I feel like I said Celtics and 7.
You did.
Like
Yep, you did. I got that right here. Yep. So, and that's pretty much all that's left there.
Miami another game.
If I were a betting man, I should have made it.
James Harden had that one 45-point game or something like that.
He came back with another 40 piece in like game 4.
Yeah, he did. And honestly, they almost took him out yesterday for real. You know what I'm saying? Like Philly almost ended it 4-2 yesterday.
Jason Tatum had himself a hell of a fourth quarter.
Yeah. Light-skinned LeBron James said, "Nah, not today."
Yeah, after playing terrible.
He was playing pretty trash up until about the midway to the end of the third quarter, and then he had a hell of a fourth quarter. So we'll see what happens with that one. That's tomorrow, right? Are we still all in on Boston?
Actually, yes.
Yep, I'm all in on Boston. I still think Boston got it.
That home court advantage is gonna be too much.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. So we got Miami closing it out tonight. We got Boston closing it out tomorrow. I'm gonna do a fan pick. I'm gonna pick like a fan this time, and I'm gonna say the Lakers close it out tonight. All right. I know. It's a bold prediction. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all think I lost my fucking mind. But I'm gonna make the prediction that the Lakers are gonna close it out in 6. The reason is I think Anthony Davis is gonna have a game. I think Lonnie Walker's probably somehow gonna have a game. I think LeBron is gonna do similar to what he did in Game 5. or he's gonna come out guns blazing. I think
So
maybe, I think it was game 5 where he didn't shoot like at all in the first half. I think like he shot like a couple shots in the first half, and was just a great distributor. So I think he'll probably come out like that. Either that or he'll come out guns blazing. So, and I think Anthony Davis is still the X factor. I got LA in 6.
Yeah, it can't go to 7.
No, it can't go to 7 because Golden State's gonna win if it goes to 7.
Period. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. If it goes to 7, that's Golden State. But
yeah, all day.
Yeah, he's got to come out guns blazing. He's got to come out like, just the animal. He's got to. And I watched some of the clips from the previous one. I'm like, yo, does he have the Warriors figured out? Like LeBron, yeah, he's studying, man, studying. So he's either figured them out, or he's definitely gonna come out blazing. Like, this is it. Like, I gotta close this out. Now's the time.
The thing is, if they shoot 45 threes and hit half of them again, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a numbers game.
Like I mean, the number of threes this team shoots is insane.
Astronomical.
It's insane. Like 40, 45, 50, sometimes 60 threes in a game. But then they be making them though, and that's the wild part.
They play the analytics,
I guess. Yeah, I guess unless you're Houston a couple years ago, all of them can't, break, right?
Yeah.
But Houston missed like 20. They missed like 27 threes in a row a couple years ago.
Something ridiculous.
So, all right, enough of that. All right, cool. So basketball is what it is. Kev, keep us updated. I got my sports sticker right here. I got Miami up by 4 right now. They might not be as live can get, but
I was gonna say with the jailbroken fire stick, we up by 2 on mine.
Oh, okay. Hey, shout out to the jailbroken fire stick getting live feeds in real time.
Oh no, I might be behind you because we just went up by 4.
Okay, all right. So there we go.
Either way, whenever I scream, you know why.
The point is, we in the third quarter, and the Miami Heat fan over here in real life is gonna let us know what's going on. He's either gonna start cussing and then say, "I need to take a shot," or he's gonna say, "Fuck yeah," and I need to take a shot. So
either way, it's celebration.
It's up. All right, man. Let's get down to business, man. Let's get into some fair or foul. I want to start today with something we didn't quite have time to dive into last week, and that is the Brian McKnight. The Brian McKnight situation. I'm gonna just call it a situation. Now, for those who don't know, Kev, this was your thing. Yeah, why don't you break that down real quick before I play the video?
So I was floating on Beyonce's internet, on Elon Musk's Twitter, and I came across like all of these tweets about Brian McKnight, and it led me to an interview where your man parted his lips and said that like he had never felt anything for any woman before the woman that he's with now, which then you go down the rabbit hole and discover that like basically he's not acknowledging his family, like the family he had before he met this woman, which his previous wife, I think he's got 2 kids, one of which carries his name. Like, and I mean, like what makes it even wilder is he's gone on tour with his sons, and they like sing. One of them plays the guitar. Like, they're talented. And I know him to be a liar because like I was an avid Brian McKnight fan, and I forget what album it was called, but he literally like wrote half the songs on that album about his wife, because at that point we discovered how toxic of a husband he was. He was like verbally abusive to her, physically abusive at a point, and so like the songs hit different when I heard them. It was like, I'm so sorry for everything I might have done. Like and like it was a ballad love song, tribute of apology to his ex-wife. But now all of a sudden he ain't never felt nothing in any song that he's written for anybody until this woman that he's with now. Man, when they tell you that that thing between a woman's legs will drive a man crazy, this has got to be the like textbook definition of it because my man is delusional. But play the,
Yeah,
show the.
let's look at the video and then yeah, let's talk about it. Roll the clip.
Get fire with bitches one time.
What is the song that like really still speaks to you after all of these albums you've worked on?
Well, the ones that do, the only ones that speak to me are the ones that I've written since Leilani came into my life, because those are the only ones that have a meaning.
Wow.
Sure, there were big hits before then, but they weren't based on anything, because I never even liked anyone before I met her.
Oh, wow.
The first time I felt my heartbeat was the day that she came into my life. So everything that I wrote before then wasn't based on anything romantic. It was just, it was arithmetic. I have this many notes and this many syllables. And that's what I have to work with. But these 3 albums that I've done since we met, every single song it has a meaning, it has a story, it has something that's near and dear to my heart.
Okay. That was that's interesting.
My man was
now,
he was doing Common Core math.
He was doing comical man. He basically was an AI bot for his songs. Like
he said it was arithmetic. Oh,
arithmetic. He was computing these songs, man. Start Back at 1 was mad.
Oh,
Y'all
okay.
ain't know.
It wasn't him. It was the other Brian McKnight.
Right. Okay. With that said, hey, one of y'all got some feedback too. Y'all got loud. Yeah.
DJ Clue.
Remix. Up to it, down to it. Okay, we're good. Kev, we kind of got your take. I do want to get yours at the end here because Rich, you pulled up something backstage real quick. And I pulled up something as well, and just to add some context to this. So, but first and foremost, fair or foul, him saying that the songs he wrote was arithmetic and that he never really felt no love for even his wife until his new wife popped in.
Foul. He foul for expecting somebody to believe that.
How about we add that?
Cat foul.
It's foul because it's cat.
Cat foul.
So okay. All right. So go ahead, Rich. Go ahead.
Come on. Now mine's just short and sweet, man. Like I understand sometimes you may make certain songs or whatnot. Just it's a hit, or this is a club banger or something like that. But most of your songs weren't like club bangers, right? So that came from somewhere. And to say that you never felt anything for anybody else like that, come on, man. That right there to me was like a prime example. Like he just wanted that spot. He wanted to be able to say something that would make his current situation right feel like the most important one, period. And probably to hurt his ex. Like, come on, man. That's wild. He wild for that.
Yeah, true story. All right, well, okay, that's fair. Q, what you think, man?
Man, Brian McKnight need to wake up and smell of coffee. This man is fucking high capping, bro. High capping. Let me tell you why. You ain't gonna sit there and go through a long relationship like that and have not one kid, but multiple kids with somebody and not had no love. You can't say nothing was there, man. That's some bull. He trying to make, like Richard said, he trying to make the one that he with now feel special, but he ended up putting his foot in his mouth. Like, so we need to get that AI Brian McKnight up out of here, bring the real one back, and just keep it a buck, man. We respect you more for that.
Nigga said he's an AI bot. He said that was an AI bot. That's hilarious.
The way that he was talking make it seem like he was expecting a speech Like he was about to give this whole grandeur introduction to Jesus Christ, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna swing this over to the love of my life, cause the one that I'm with, I really ain't know no love. I ain't know what life was until she came in. But you put your seed in your ex-wife multiple times. You ain't love her when you did that. Just saying, man.
Yep.
Never mind.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother
Okay.
topic.
Okay.
No,
Okay. Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
what what Rick James say on Chappelle's show? Cocaine is a hell of a
Cocaine is
drug.
a hell of a drug. Yep.
Is a hell of a, and we saw the hints of cocaine use during the pandemic when this was either during the pandemic or just before the pandemic. But again, that rabbit hole of Brian McKnight videos, it took me back. And your man was sitting in the studio and he had the wherewithal, the unmitigated gall to hop on a live and was like, I want to show you how this song that I've been working on with the whole studio board setup and everything. And he said, let me show you how your pussy works, and expected people to believe that this was coming from Brian McKnight. And like it went so viral because people could not believe that this N-word was serious that he then came back and played it off as a joke. No, bro. You were seriously believing that somebody was going to view you as seems like you're ready, R. Kelly, before we found out who he was really singing the songs about. Brian McKnight is on like low grade cocaine. We can't even call it pure white Colombian. It ain't that. It's mixed. It's chopped and screwed. It's got a little ammonia bleach in it. I'm just,
He on them
man.
gas station
Bro
drugs.
said he's on crack.
Yeah.
He on them gas station drugs that's taped up in the window when you go and put 20 on pump 3, yo.
Wow. Tell me you from Baltimore without telling me you from Baltimore. Wow.
One too many honey packets,
So now that you unpack the whole Brian McKnight thing, it sheds a different light on Back at One for me.
He done ruined every song, man.
So it's like, did you really write that about your ex, or was that your interlude into you with the other woman before you divorced?
He was seeing in the future.
Had to be. He must not have liked any of them previously, right? But just still decided to,
Thank you, Lady Blacklight.
Let's see. It's 3 new albums with all this meaning and feeling, and not one single hit.
I mean,
he can tell you how the pussy work, but he can't tell you how album sales work either. So,
I don't think anybody would have bought that from Brian McKnight because that's not Brian McKnight's style. Like, so yeah,
he about to cross over the rap next.
Part of me wants to go against the grain, but I can't. Because history tells us too much. If this was an isolated incident, right? Like the story just came up and it was isolated, and you just kind of go back. Like, I mean, he had some stories on, the way his kids were acting. There's some stories about that. There's some stories about, disagreements and so on with his ex-wife. Which under no circumstances is it condonable for you to abuse her like that. I don't. That's not okay. Period. Right. So, just leave if all that bad. Niggas do everything but leave sometimes. Man, I swear. So my overall on that is it has to be foul because it does seem like he's throwing shots at the family and at the kids. I don't know what the personal dynamic is, but I will say this, and I know. I'm gonna say this about Brian McKnight: damaged people damage people. Okay, I said that on Facebook earlier this week too. And you can look at it in many, many different ways and many different aspects of life. Damaged people damage people, right? And he sounded to me like a man that has been damaged in one way or another. Now, he also because we're also not going to let the physical abuse slip. Okay, and he also did some damaging. Okay, and again, that's not okay. So yeah, overall, this has to be foul. The only thing that I can hope is that, you know, he's not the same man at, what is he, 53, 55, something like that, somewhere north of 50,
something
right?
like that. Yeah.
The only thing I can hope is that he's matured from age, you know, at age 50 from what he was in his 30s, right? Okay, I mean, hope that. Now, the one other thing I'll say is this. One thing he said in that last video was, I didn't feel my heart beat until I got with this woman. Now, again, I don't know their backstory as far as how they got together. I don't know if they got married, then had kids. I don't know if they had kids, then got married. Okay. But one of you pointed out that you know, about having a baby with somebody multiple times. It's like, you know, well, you know, didn't you love them then when you had a baby by them? Well, listen, yeah, probably, but maybe not in the same way that I would love somebody today. Okay, I'm just saying I'm not the same person I was, say, you know, I'll speak for myself, say 16, 17 or so years ago. Okay, and my oldest is about to turn 17. I can't believe it either. Right? And but the reality is I'm not the same man I was 17 years ago. And so how I feel things and how I see things and how I view things today ain't necessarily the same as they was back then. So I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna shit on my baby mother either. Like, I absolutely did love her back then, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that it's the same as I had for my wife. That it was the same as I had for my wife. It felt different. It feels different. I'm not gonna lie.
But
So
you're saying it different. And so I think that's the issue. Like, you know, you're saying I can't say that I never did, but it's different now. If
that's
he
fair.
just said
He said he ain't even like her.
Yeah, if he said this was
He's
unlike,
saying he was on autopilot.
right. If he parted his lips and said this was unlike anything I've ever felt before, I could understand that. But to be like, I never felt anything until now, come on, bro.
What if he again? I don't know. Y'all comments. Y'all do some research, man. Somebody let me know. I don't know. I wonder if they had their first kid before or after they got married. Well, they had to, because his oldest, or he has an older kid that's like 20 something, right? 25 or so.
His two sons are both in their 20s.
Okay, and they were only married for 17 years. Okay, and so all I'm saying is, you don't necessarily got to be in love with somebody to shoot the club up.
You don't.
Right? That's all I'm saying. So and then
when you think about it this way, as a man, you still had, like we talked about plenty of times, of being strategic when you shoot the club up. I mean, you must have felt something when you shot it up twice.
But okay, wait. We talk about being strategic because niggas aren't strategic. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking about that because we ain't been strategic. We aren't strategic. You know? That's why if we're just looking at the black community alone, 80% of our babies are born out of wedlock. If we look at the country as a whole, it's 2/3. It's like 65%. So I mean, we're not being strategic when it comes to this. And I'm talking about being born in this thing into broken homes. I'm not talking about a home was broken, like divorce and all that. That's a whole other conversation, right? But we talk about kids born into this situation. It's 80% for us. It's 65% countrywide. I mean, are we being strategic about it?
So what I'll say then makes that worse is that if the two kids came out of wedlock, he then married her. So like you ain't feel nothing. That's the part that's not leaving me. Like,
now,
you ain't feel nothing.
I'm with you on that, but then my question is, was he really on autopilot at that point?
But feel nothing? Like, so from the conceiving of your first child to waiting a few years, having a second child, to then marrying a person, you ain't feel nothing?
Okay.
As a male, and listen, we talking about an artist, not regular people. Artists talk about babies all the time. Artists refuse to get married all the time. Artists, even if they get married or in relationships, you know, the publicists will say it's better if you appear single, especially as, you know, big time R&B lovers and whatever, like your appearance is better single. So like, it's nothing for a celebrity to carry on with their life, even though they wildin'. Case in point, Nick Cannon. Like, but you ain't feel nothing.
But he never, okay, but to be fair though, like he didn't have the image of a bachelor. He never in any of his songs carried on the image of a bachelor, of a single man. He always carried on the image of what we would say the dream man would be after after you're done, running the streets or whatever. You want to get somebody that wants to start back at one, that wants to know if you ever cross his mind, if he ever crossed your mind anytime. You know what I'm saying? Like he kind of portrayed more of that. He portrayed the boyfriend / husband. So it might have actually been in his better artistic interest to have a family, not necessarily in his heart interest.
If ifs were fifths, I don't know.
We'd all be drunk.
Here's what I will say, because I was, Trey, you brought up a good point, right? Because it was a different time back then, when he first got married. It's not like, he's young and like this new culture of marriage and whatnot. But back then, and the way that the culture was, and the way that the industry was, it could have been, who's to say that he was even 100% faithful in that marriage, So I mean, he could have.
Because he wrote songs about that to apologize.
Okay, well, but that might have also been why he cheated multiple times. He felt nothing.
But if you feel nothing, why write songs to apologize to the person you feel nothing for?
You want to keep her around. You don't want to pay half. I mean, cheaper to keep her. I don't know.
This might have been around the time where he met his new wife, and his new wife explained to him that he had fucked around on her, and that was wrong. Yeah, I'm just saying it might have been. I don't know.
I'm not changing what I said before. I'm just saying, Trey brings up a point. All right, but it's still foul. It's still foul. I'm not changing my position. Yeah, it's still foul. Exactly. We're all in agreement. Foul.
Yeah. It's foul. It's foul AF. There's better ways to handle it. And he might have, but I'm just saying that might have been some unfortunate truth, and sometimes you got to tell the hard truth. But maybe that might not have been the best time to do it. Anyway, what's the score, bro? What are we looking at?
77-75 Miami.
Ooh. Miami, you're messing up my prediction. All right.
Watch your mouth.
Let's go. I'm with you. I'm on your team, man. Let's get to the next video. This is interesting, man. Shout out to anybody. I believe this is in the Atlanta, Georgia, Buckhead specifically, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to that area. And any of y'all industrious people out there, you might want to take a look at this. I'm just saying.
In Atlanta, they are fighting back against the private parking industry's practice of booting cars. They say it's predatory, and they're going viral online for removing boots for drivers. Channel 2's Courtney Francisco is live, and Courtney, they call themselves the Boot Girls.
They sure do. And you'll notice all around Atlanta signs like this in parking lots that say your car will be booted. Well, the Boot Girls provide an alternative.
You can't do it.
It may be risky business.
This is our property.
But the Boot Girls are doing it.
All day, every day. All day.
That's how often they say they're getting calls from drivers who have boots on their wheels in private lots in Atlanta, now that their videos on social media are starting to go viral.
And it is expanded out of nowhere.
The Boot Girls will swoop in and remove a boot from your car for a flat fee of $50. It's controversial because private parking lot companies own the boot and put it on there. The city of Atlanta allows them to charge you up to $75 a day every day the boot is on your car.
Predatory.
Christian Verrett is the one who started selling the keys that unlock Atlanta boots in the first place about a year ago.
It's holding someone hostage. You're holding somebody for ransom. $75 or you can't go anywhere. I'm not leaving my car in the middle of downtown.
Well, they'll say, but you shouldn't have parked illegally.
As opposed to, hey, a ticket, put your ticket, walk away. You can just drive off with your ticket. And there's a video right now of a DoorDasher who parked for 2 seconds just to go grab an order. I mean, the guy's doing DoorDash. It was kind of a sad video. He was really emotional about he could not afford the $70. He just did not have it.
This week, he says he sold nearly $50,000 worth of keys. That's more than 300 orders. Atlanta police say it's not illegal to own one, but using it to unlock a private lot's boot could lead to charges like criminal trespass and theft of service.
I believe the police are stretching with that one.
The boot girls said they're not sharing their identity anytime soon.
We already have people that don't like us, so we rather just cover our identity anyway.
Dang. Well. Okay, Rich, he was in mid thought. He was already brewing over there. Go ahead, brother. Talk to me.
All right, let me get this straight. This is a case of the establishment. These establishments own a boot, and they could put it on a person's vehicle for whatever reason, or just because, or because you didn't pay something, you're on my lot or something, right? You're on my property and you didn't pay something, so I'm gonna put this boot on you. But on my personal vehicle, but on my vehicle, you're gonna put this boot, right? And then I thought I saw something. One of the comments said they boot you even after you pay for the parking. Like, and I could see
and
that
he would know.
Right?
He
like,
would know.
Pay and they still got the boot on there, and they slow to take it off. Like, first of all, there's so much. So let's go this route, right? Why are they giving? This seems like a law enforcement thing, right? Where they put a boot on your car. That seems like law enforcement. That doesn't seem like something you should put in the hands of an establishment. In my opinion, it just sounds like something that should be either law enforcement, or if the person owns the garage or something. If it's a garage, so many things, because even in a garage you can't get out unless you pay, right? There's certain things that they have set up in place. So I understand.
But it seems like they still get you even if you do pay like that. I feel like that's like extortion for real. Like
that's what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. So I mean, these Robin Hood,
Robin being a unisex name, so
hey, you see what I did there, right?
We're using the female version of Robin.
It's the female version of Robin.
Yeah, the female,
why?
Yeah. But we don't know. We don't know how they identify. But anyway, these Robin Hood boot, freedom fighters. Should they be allowed to do what they're doing? Look, man, hey, I don't know what Atlanta laws are set up. I don't know how they're set up, so I'd have to look into that. And it's really gonna boil down to that. But that's listen. They got a hustle going on. And I'll just say that I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them, man. They going to work.
You know what? And I'm in a situation I can't call it fair or foul, but I will say, like, as an alternative, they did mention that you can purchase the boots and own them in the city of Atlanta. So if I own to throw a boot on my car when I'm there, bro, best believe I'm gonna pop the trunk and I'm gonna boot whoever the owner is that put that boot on my car.
Yeah.
Because I'm just that petty. Like, if you ain't taking the boot off my joint, I'm gonna make sure you got the boot on yours. Boot them right back. I might put 3 of them on one tire just because I'm that petty.
City girls up. That's all I got.
Put all 3 of them on there.
Yeah, I got. Listen, it is what it is, man. If it's legal to buy the key, then you know what I'm saying.
They out here doing God's work.
They are. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Play the game. Play the game.
May not.
So earlier this year, I ended a relationship and cut off an engagement from a great man. He was a good man. He loved God. He was a praying man. He loved and adored me. He was there for me. He was handsome. He was well educated. He didn't have any kids. He checked all the boxes. But there was still something missing. And I just knew that I could not go through with this marriage. There was just something that did not connect. I felt that there should have been a connection between he and I in order for me to be his wife. And so I cut off the engagement. And it was so difficult because he was a good man. It's easy when a person is not good. You can justify why you cut things off. But when a person is truly a good person, it's hard to explain. So I found myself trying to explain it to family and friends, and they were asking me a whole bunch of questions that, I could not say, exactly why, other than the fact that I just did not feel the connection. There was something that was not there that I needed to be there in order for this to be my husband. And so I stopped trying to explain it, and I just trusted my decision, and I went on. But then I got an epiphany, and it was just like, have you ever been shoe shopping and you saw a nice pair of shoes and it's like, ooh, I love the color. I love the style. The heel is the right size and it's a reasonable price. Like it's on sale and it's a good shoe. But then when you approach the shoe, you see that it's a size 6 and you need a size 7. Does it take away from the fact that the shoe is a good shoe? Does it take away from the fact that you're getting a great deal for the quality? Does it take away from the fact that the heel is still the right size? It doesn't matter. All of that still makes the shoe is still good. But if it's not your size, it's not the shoe for you. And so that is what I had to accept. Yes, he was a good man. But what that feeling was is that he was not a great fit for me. It didn't take away from who he was, but it was just confirmation that he was not a good fit for me. And that leads me to say that some of us are trying to force relationships when we know they don't fit. It doesn't mean that the person is not good. It doesn't mean that they are not good-hearted people. It just means that they're not a good fit for you. So free them up. Don't continue to settle for things that you know is going to cause discomfort in the future. Me purchasing a size 6 shoe when I wear a 7 is discomfort. Don't do it.
What we talking about here? What we talking about?
It's
She
not
talking about
big.
size?
It's not wide. It's not
She talking
strong.
about
It won't,
fit.
the size. It's not the right size.
That shoe.
The shoes.
The shoe.
The shoe is not
That
the right
shoe.
size. And it's a 6. It's a 6, but she need a 7.
But she need a 7.
She needs 7. They giving her 6.
Ooh.
Maybe that's because it was more like throwing a hot dog down the hallway.
1 inch makes a difference.
Ooh. He was a good man.
Cinderella, tell us about it.
I feel like she was giving a eulogy and whatnot. Like,
right? 'Cause
Like-
she definitely killed
She
him.
definitely killed him. Yeah, she definitely killed him.
And it's size 6.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh
we
my
have to
God.
go in on this shit.
I don't. My bad, Q. My fault. Go ahead, bro.
Why is it always the man? Like, I can understand, like, if it ain't for you, it ain't for you. But stop walking around like yours is like 100%. Because you walking around like, oh, he too little. The shoe size don't fit. Well, hey, maybe your house doesn't have any walls. Maybe that golden box that you had is a garbage disposal.
I'm not doing this with you tonight, Q. Nope, 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 nope. I'm ghosting y'all like y'all ghosted me last week. Nope.
She's saying she got that WAP and she really got that SWAT.
Oh my God. Camera down, yo. Camera down.
No, because I'm tired of that. Like, you be discrediting some good men for something that's so stupid. Like, sometimes you got to step back and ask yourself, like, is it you? It sounds like a you problem, not a him. The shoe was the right size. Your foot just too jacked up.
She got corns.
Got bunions.
That's why I don't fit. She got turf toe.
That's exactly 8 toes down for you, boy, out here.
It's gonna fit because that big old hammer toe she toting.
It's somewhere between Deion Sanders and Shaq Foot.
Oh God! Oh God! 2 worst feet in sports history. Are they the 2 worst feet in sports history?
Come on, man. Now, so listen.
Oh my God! Rich is still gone. He's still done. He's still done. Yeah. Hey, look, listen, Lady Blacklight. It looked like you and Rich on the same page. That's it, y'all. He locked up. He gone. He out of here. He done muted himself. He out of here.
Time for the closing remarks.
Oh my God.
So listen, so the one thing I'll say is that I do have like good female friends that I would never consider being with. So like the premise of, they're a good person, but it's not for you, I can understand. Where she loses me is she was with this person and, if I'm not mistaken, was engaged to this person. She just didn't marry him because something didn't click. So how do you get that far on they're just a good man that I can't be with? Like that's the part where she loses me. Like I was trying to rock with her. The shoe thing ain't get me, but like the premise of just being a good person, because there are good people that you don't find yourself attracted to. There are good people that they're a good person, but there's just things about you that don't mesh. So that part I can understand, but the longevity of their relationship to get to a point where he would propose marriage to her, she would accept, like suggests that he had to have been more than just a good man. Like I honestly don't believe that a woman who is sure of herself would accept marriage from a man just because he's a good man. Like that sounds a lot like settling, which would say more about her than it would about him. So yeah, I was really trying to rock with her, but nah, she foul. If I don't even know what the question is, but she foul. She foul.
I don't know if it matters what the question is. I agree. I think she's foul too. Rich, welcome back.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta step away,
And for the record, the average shoe size is a 5.
The average shoe size is a 5.
So if it's a size 6, you're above average.
You're above average.
Shoes. I wear a 13.
I wear a size 13.
Oh gosh. Lord of mercy.
Woo! Woo! I do though. I do in real life wear a size 13 though. Like that's true. Oh my God. Oh, I need another shot. Babe, where'd you put the liquor? Oh, there it is. Okay.
So we done for tonight.
No. There's more. No, there's more. But that was.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Yeah, definitely. I think we all okay. So we're all in agreement. She's foul.
That's not what she said.
Ah, boy, that's not what she said. Because there wasn't more.
Shoe size. The shoe
size.
We're talking
We
about shoes.
are talking about shoes here. I don't want to lose the audience. We are having a discussion about shoes.
Shoes, people.
Oh Lord. Yeah, we're talking about shoes. Totally talking about shoes.
If the shoe don't fit, you must have quit.
You must have quit. You must have quit. You must have quit.
Well, I mean, she did.
Oh, this is gonna be bad. Okay.
We ain't never gonna find our way off this segment.
Oh my God. Yeah, hey, look, y'all see how that last video just kind of randomly, abruptly just said, "Nah, we just gonna go to the next one." That's what I'm gonna have to do with this.
She could have doubled up on the socks.
She could have worn 2 pairs. She probably was wearing 2 pairs of socks. That's the problem.
And that's what it is. She was hoping for the girth and not for the length of the heel.
Yeah, the shoes, right heel. Yeah, heel. Yeah.
You know, because some of them have to get their shoes wide. You know, it's not
right.
just a size.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah.
You know, the girth of it, not the.
It's regular and it's extra. Okay. So.
You know.
Shoes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I wonder if she tried to shoot.
I'm all for that.
So again, we're talking about shoes. Sometimes when ladies find the right shoe, right? It's like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if she tried to shoehorn, because you know.
Oh no!
If you can help yourself get in there, then sometimes that might help. You know, I'm saying you got to propel yourself into it, not just try to force it in. You feel me? So a shoehorn might be, you know, and they sell those things that like you can just put in the shoe to help stretch it out, like while it's in the closet.
They do sell the extra like what is it, extra fillings?
Yeah, extra filling they do.
And
they got the insoles, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can get a gel bottom to help keep it cool.
Oh yeah, keep it cool, or you know, add extra
foam. Remember that size once you get in.
Yeah.
Just a shoe
memory
stretcher.
foam. Get that memory foam.
The shoe stretcher. Because you want to break it in so it fits well.
We're gonna move on because this is never gonna end. I promise you we'll be here for the next hour just going in on this shit. I promise you we will. So we're
deal with the subjects.
Oh my. Okay. All right.
Maybe she's trying on too many shoes.
Oh, that's really what it is. Because you know everybody's sixes ain't the same. Everybody, right? Because you know what I'm saying? Because Nike, that's what I'm saying. Nike's is more, you know,
and
the slimmer.
And the A6, you know. And if you had a pair of Shaqs, you know,
was
the fit. The fit.
Puma. I like Puma. Puma's got a good combination of, you know, my toe can fit, and then also it's wider. It's
and
not.
The preference might be for a Velcro shoe because she might like the strap better.
You might like the strap better, you know.
So if you could Velcro, then
we're moving on. I'm not doing this with y'all. We gonna get. Oh my God, y'all saw the headline. Y'all saw the headline. We gonna talk about the Lois Lane complex. Talking a little bit more about about the burden of manhood and overcoming the stigma. And I can't even damn talk. Let me pour my shot. I'm ready. Let's move on. Jeez. Jesus Cristo.
Oh, this is bad.
So in all, our mothers has failed us as men because they raised us to chase women that they taught to reject us. So we don't win at all.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus,
that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay.
But at the same time, that same mother is teaching her daughter, Get yourself a job so you don't need no man. This, that, and third, so you don't need no man. So you don't need no man, so you don't need no man. Now we got a whole community of women that's being raised not to need no man, but they got a bunch of men that was raised to want the woman and work for the woman.
Finding love is not that easy, right? And it's especially hard in this economy. And guess what? Many women say they are finding it very hard to find a man who makes as much as they do.
It ain't just him that's got problems. We got problems too. And we the mother. Like I say, we have them before anybody. So if we want a better man, we have to raise a better man.
Superman, Clark Kent, and Lois Lane. Clark Kent is vulnerable. He's emotionally available. He's accommodating. He's a great guy. Lois Lane isn't attracted to Clark Kent. He's attracted to Superman.
But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society.
Everything we want from our men costs money. Everything they want from us just costs us to have a better attitude or a smile. That don't cost us nothing, but we withhold it because it don't go like our fairy tale version of how the relationship's supposed to go.
Lois Lane gets with Superman, who really, when you look at this character, is the opposite of Clark Kent. But the moment she gets with Superman, she wants him to be Clark Kent.
We're sick people. We're working for the future, because working for the present, we ain't making no progress.
I didn't think
we
it was
back.
going to happen, but it did.
Oh, we back. Oh, hey. What's going on, everybody? We back.
I didn't think I could do it, but I did. Is this a shot? Come on.
That's what her foot said.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'm so sick of y'all.
They're wondering what is this all about?
I'm not doing this, yo. Let me take this shot, yo.
Oh gosh.
Oh my God.
I did it.
We're gonna try to stay focused here a little bit. What you do? Hold on. Let me put you on the big screen so I can see what the shit that even is.
This is dad life, okay? My kid pulled this out, and you gotta, keep pushing these buttons to make the stuff squirt, and the rings just go up in the air, and you try to make them land on the thing, so my shoe fits, and I don't have to squirt no more.
Pause.
Okay.
So, does that mean I identify as a squirter?
Okay.
What's that?
We talk about games here. We're talking about games.
We're going nowhere, yo. We're going nowhere fast, yo.
Only with gasoline drawers.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay.
This is what we do, man.
Wasn't this topic supposed to be serious?
It was. I think it was, but and man, fuck all that. Listen, fuck all that. All right, let me be serious for a minute.
Okay, so this is my fault. Right,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. I damn near forgot what the fuck the video even said at this point. Because of these shenanigans.
Wait, so hold on. So the men, it's a man thing, but the one woman said we the mothers, and she was like, we got to raise better men because we have them first. Yeah. Wow.
Okay, let me try to get it together. I'm trying to get it together over here. Hey, yo.
All right, here we go. Come on.
Backstage is coming for our day one. Okay, backstage is coming. Stay tuned. Okay, I know, Jamie. Stop judging us. Okay, stop judging us. All right,
We
stop it.
live.
Okay,
We live. All right.
okay. Whew. Let's summarize that a little bit. So, okay, all right, here we go. We're getting us back on track. So, as we were talking about last week, we were discussing some of the what? Here we go. Some of the disadvantages to manhood that's kind of honestly that's overlooked for real, right? Overlooked and underserved. We looked at a lot of different things. One question to your point, Kev, since you brought up the quote about we that women have us first, like right, the mothers have us men first. One question I always ask, and there's a lot of layers to this last video, so we can go through them. But one of the questions I've always asked is, when women say that these men nowadays ain't shit, these men nowadays is sensitive, these men nowadays aren't men, these men nowadays don't step up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. My question is always, well, who raised them? Right? And then usually the answer is met with a haha, I got you. Like, well, it damn sure wasn't their daddy. To which my question is then, well, that means they learned from who?
Well.
Right? So that means they learned from you, ladies. Okay. So that was definitely one aspect that I caught from there. Another one was the kind of training of yeah, I see y'all you good though. Y'all good though. Y'all good. Y'all good. It looks dire over there, Kev, but I'm looking at the score. I'm probably a
Relax.
little bit ahead of you. You're okay. All right. Anyway, but I think that sometimes, anyway, bottom line, I think sometimes we do give an unrealistic expectation of what to expect in a relationship. We had a young lady, Ebony K, I believe his name, right? Ebony K,
Yeah.
who was talking about she wouldn't date a man who was a bus driver, right? And what that tells me,
unless he owned the bus,
unless
right?
he owned the bus, which what I'm laughing at Kev.
Emotion, no roller coaster. I love. We live.
We live, right? So those y'all interested in the game, just watch Kev's reaction, and then for the rest of y'all, back to the topic. All right, so, um, so I think that is a very very interesting point. First of all, that yes, we see y'all first, right? We are 90% of the time. Again, we talked about 80% of our kids in Black communities specifically being born to single parent homes, and a good 90-95% of them are with their mom, right? So a lot of these things, the way they react to things, the way they you know are on the attack back on you is honestly oftentimes a reflection of you. There's this dude, we might talk about it next week. There's this dude on y'all saw him on the airplane. On the airplane, he
That's
was trying
true.
that, well, allegedly. I don't want to
Okay.
assume his gender.
I'm gonna assume that's not it though.
Okay, I would also assume he's not a man. Well, I'm not assuming. I can tell you he's not a man,
Even if he
right?
is, he ain't.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? That's certainly a male, but not a man, right?
Weird
But
feminine
but
energy, bro.
but you could tell for real, you could tell that because of the way he reacted to the situation. Like none of it called for it to escalate to that level. Even the way he was talking over the women, he was talking like them. Like it's kind of a tell me you didn't have your daddy in your life without telling me you didn't have your daddy in your life kind of thing.
Weird feminine
You know what I'm
energy.
saying? Really weird feminine energy, and a lot of men do give that off, and that's not you know again, they didn't oftentimes. I won't say every time. I won't say every time. Say every time. But
Never.
oftentimes they didn't learn that from men. Rich Q, what's your thoughts about Kev finishing the game?
Stressed.
I see why.
So I like Jamie's comment, where she says, you know, women have unrealistic expectations and need to give our men a break. I think that ties into knowing what you want. I think that a lot of times, you know, the majority, right, they go with the fad, what's cool, what's popular. You know, it would, you know, it yes, it would be great if every woman, right, could be married to a millionaire, living the dream life and whatnot, you know, getting flued out and all of that. And but at the same time, they still want to be independent and make their own money and different things of that nature. And I think I've touched on it before. It's like if you are the breadwinner, like everybody can't be the richest person. You know what I'm saying? They can't be that top person. You know what I'm saying? So somebody has to be up here, and somebody has to be, at a different level. So, and that just boils back down to communication and all those things that we've talked about before. So I think that oh, I forgot her name already, but she brought up a point, the older lady, when she was saying, like, you know, if it's a bus driver, right, that doesn't take away from the character of that bus driver, the character of the man. Like, he's providing. It's not just about the money, right? He's providing those other things, his morals, his character, what he can instill, what he can do for the family, for you, what he can bring to the table, other than just simply money, because again, if you're that type of woman who wants to make the money, you know what I'm saying, and you want the type of guy who makes that type of money, you just got to, again, understand the pond that you're fishing in. And you're going to be fighting those other women. And that guy is also going to know that he has the advantage, because it's not a lot of me, but it's a lot of you.
That's true. That's real. Women absolutely outnumber men. So you may or may not find it.
Even though there's a what is it? There's a wage gap.
There's a wage gap, allegedly.
Huge
allegedly.
Wage gap.
Yeah, allegedly. Although then they say that they can't find a man that makes more than them. So, wage gap. Ain't but one gap I'm concerned with. Anyway, Q.
Man, after looking at that clip, it was two things in that clip that stood out. And yes, Richard did bring up a good point, and that was Ayanla, when she brought up the whole scenario, would you date a bus driver? And she had to explain, like, look, I'd date a bus driver if I knew he was happy driving the bus. And that brought up a valid point. You got a lot of good men that's still out here, but we're overshadowed by the bad guys. You want the one that makes the money, but that might be the one that whoop your ass every day and don't even really give two fucks and shit about you. Meanwhile, the guy that's perfect for you, that's loving what he do, you passing him by. Give us a break, ladies. And secondly, Miss Ali, who said that men are simple.
Yeah.
Most of the things that women want from men involve money. Men just want somebody who's going to pay them attention and listen. I don't have to add any more to that. They just preached the whole sermon for me. Pass the plate and start the benediction.
The Lord bless you and keep you.
No, and I think, what do I think? I think we gotta take a break from social media. And when I say we, I'm talking to people who are easily influenced. I'm talking to people who are unsure of themselves. I'm talking to people who are unhealed. I'm talking to people who are, are gaslighters, who are toxic. You got to take a break from social media, because social media will literally make you feel like every man you come across is supposed to pay your bills the second he introduces himself. Hello, my name is Kevin. Can I pay your rent? Like that's what social media does to you. Social media puts you in competition with people you ain't never met before. Social media makes you feel like if you ain't making $1 million by the age of 16 and 3/4, that you have not arrived. Social media will make you feel like OnlyFans is the only way to make it in this life. Social media, like a lot of things. So if you're not secure in who you are, you're gonna get lost in a world that's heavy on the social media, which is why we need gotten therapy, because like there's got to be some groundedness to you before you can put anything in front of you. So maybe that's not even a social media thing. That's a life experience and cultural thing. Like if you are unsure of yourself, no matter where you go or what you do, you can easily be swayed when you're unsure of who you are. So you can be out with your girlfriends, you can be out with the boys, and you may see the most attractive person you've ever seen in your life. But if everybody in your crew is like, they average at best, it's going to sway the way you feel about them when it's the way that you feel. And so like I think a lot of this is done simply because people are unsure of themselves. Like, and granted, everybody has their own set of standards. Everybody's got their own wishes and desires and whatever the case may be. And if that works for you, roll with it. But like, again, we're not knocking the person who works a 9 to 5, because the one thing we can say about a person who works a 9 to 5 is their hours are 9 to 5. Shout out to the entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs are working more often than not 12-hour shifts minimum. You know what I'm saying? Some of them literally have to work 24 hours a day in order for their business to work and to thrive. So the one thing you can credit a 9 to 5 for is their hours are 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. They got their weekends. The one thing you can bet your money on about teachers is they're going to have every summer off. So that time is theirs to do whatever they want, unless they choose to teach summer school. So like, we're not knocking hardworking, regular people. We're not knocking hard working, average citizens. Like there's so much that you stand to gain from people like that. Like fall in love with an educator, because again, if you're thinking about family and children, the educator knows how to work with children. The educator is going to take education as a priority and introduce your kids into what's important in the educational realm. Fall in love with an artist, because they're going to introduce you and the children that you bring up into, like vast opportunities in the arts and world experiences and things that you never imagined, because they see in color what saw as black and white. Fall in love with whatever they are and whatever they do, because you are willing to take the time to see them in their, in their passion. Like people who just take jobs for the hell of it are not passionate about what they do. They may be good at it, but they're not passionate about it. And there's an attractiveness to a person who is passionate about the field that they're in, whether they're cleaning bathrooms or whether they're cleaning up the White House. Like that, like it's something to be said about that. So there's it really is a ton of layers that goes into this, but nobody should be discounted for what they, what they do for a living.
Yeah, they should. Absolutely, Kevin. Absolutely. I totally agree. Totally agree. The other thing I'll say about social media, that is definitely like a detriment, is that they make people believe that they need to get their validation from social media.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm a bad B, or I'm a 10, I'm this, I'm that. And you have to agree with me. And they look for that validation in social media, and then here comes the shaming if you don't agree and things of that nature. Like, first of all right, that's you. If you believe that, like that should just be your aura. Like Like, you know, for me personally, it's like, I don't need to tell you. That's just how I'm gonna carry myself. And you're gonna tell me, you know, I don't need to be going around saying it all the time. Like, I don't need to say it. Like, that's just how I'm going to carry myself. That's just the aura that I'm gonna give off. And you know, social media, I feel like just, you know, gives people, anybody, a platform to say whatever they want, think however they want to think, and then look for that validation. And if you don't agree, then it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And I agree, Kevin. People need to get off of social media, man. They super need to get off of social media. I also wanted to highlight what Patrice was saying. She said, what's the problem with her saying she doesn't want to date a bus driver, but she will date the owner of the bus company? That's her preference and what probably matches her lifestyle. Again, I think everybody on here doesn't have a problem with her preference.
No.
I think the problem comes when it's like becomes this whole narrative that all of black men or all of men need to be 1%ers. And it's like, oh, I can't find anyone, and all this woe is me. Just understand, you're looking for a 1%er. There's 99 out there, 1%er. Don't cry. That means you got to be better than the pool of women that are also looking for that 1%ers. You can't ask for a pity party. You can't ask for that. No. And that's what social media does. It's like, oh, have a pity party for me because men ain't this, men ain't that, because they ain't being the 1%ers. They ain't reaching their full potential, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he wanted to be a bus driver. Maybe he can make you feel. If he can make you feel like you are the queen that you portray yourself to be, and the only thing that he's missing is the money and the size of the shoe. But like so it's like seriously, and again, if that's what she wants, fine. Just understand that. Don't go crying. You just be better. You just go ahead and put on, look, you just go be better. Go put on the eyelashes, go put on more makeup, go get the weave, whatever it is that you need to do, that you're going to do, right? Because
I don't know that that's better. I don't know that that's better. Okay.
Even
I'm just saying, if you think of yourself so high and mighty that you deserve this 1%er, then you go do what you need to do. And you know, see how long that lasts. Be careful what you wish for,
because it might not be what you want.
And it's I was gonna say, it's literally what Jasmine's just said, that, you know, of course we're having this conversation as, and I hate using the term, but we are regular people. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you start having conversations about the 1%, hell, even the talented 10, that's understanding that 10% is better than 90% of the people, you know. And the converse, I think back to Think Like a Man, that movie, and the book, and the 80-20 rule. Like, you're gonna toss, and so maybe this is pissing me off about the woman who got rid of the good man. You're letting go of a person who has 80% of what you want because they don't carry that 20%. Not realizing that when you go chasing after that 20%, you're now casting aside the 80% of the person, you know what I'm saying, that you were looking for. Yes, that 20% is attractive because you're missing it, but it's not the majority of what you need. And so, like, to say, you know what I'm saying, to say that, oh, the person who drives the bus is not attractive because they don't own the bus. Now we're like, to me, it's splitting hairs. I saw a video and it was a woman, and I banged with everything she said. She was like, when a man gets with a good woman who is about her stuff, she's gonna multiply everything that she does, that he does. So what's to say that as the bus driver, that once he got with that woman who is a multiplier by nature, you put a seed in her, she gives you a kid. If she's a multiplier by nature, who's to say that she doesn't turn this bus driver into the bus owner, you know what I'm saying, the owner of the company? Like, if you know what I'm saying, if men are expected to fall in love with and embrace the potential of a woman, why then can a woman not see the potential of a man and as a multiplier make him greater in that effort? Like, and that, I think that's part of the conversation that we're having. Like, we're expecting everybody to come to the table completely healed, completely set up, completely whatever the case may be, and life just is not working like that for us regular people. Like, I'll take a person who is acknowledging the places that they need to work on and truly working towards where they're trying to be, than to just be like, oh, I need you to show up with everything in order because I'm gonna have a bad day. So that means on that day my stuff is not in order, and God forbid that my partner take that worst day and make that the sum of who I am in this relationship. So like, there has to be some grace for a partner. There has to be like some space for growth. There has to be some time for hard conversations. Like, if and again, I'm saying this as a single man, but I'm saying it as a single man who watches marriages, who watches relationships, who listens to his frat brothers when they talk, who sees like the, you know what I'm saying, what exists inside the church. Like, there has to be space for grace. And we're like, this whole conversation is about grace. What grace do you have in the dating scene? What grace do you have before you're engaged? What grace do you have in the engagement period? What grace do you have when you're married? What grace do you have when children are born, because that alters the relationship between parents? Like, where are you making grace for your partner? And if you don't have grace, you don't have relationship. Like, that's literally the shit that's pissing me off about everything that we're seeing on social media. Nobody has space for grace, and grace is what got us to this point. Whether we're talking about your religious relationships, your family relationships, your friendships, like, grace has to exist in that place, or otherwise the relationship is going to fail, because the moment somebody lets you down, your world has come crumbling down, and we are human by nature, designed to fail.
Grace, God, and therapy.
And that seems to be what people forget.
I said God in therapy like 15 minutes ago, and we never took the shot. So, you know.
Go ahead and take this.
Yeah. We live.
Look, there wasn't even no need me saying nothing. Like, Kev brought that home for real. I do have some comments, but I'll get to that in a second. You want to go ahead to your card?
Well,
Would you
I'm
need to get
seeing
one?
the comments. I'll pull it. I'm seeing the comments, and so
Okay.
like Patrice, because we know Patrice, and Patrice, I love you. You're my sister. I can
You know that.
wholeheartedly agree with you that sometimes the potential backfires, because you know potential is an unrealized, unrecognized state, but potential exists because it's inside of the person. So I guess it goes back to my point that if a woman is a multiplier, if a woman is a breeder of greatness, like as a good woman, which I've yet to see a person pop up in our comments that I would not deem as a good woman. So all of you all, from the rooter to the tutor, are good women who can increase and multiply. So if you see that potential in your partner, and you don't multiply it, it's not because you weren't capable of multiplying it. It's because the person didn't meet that point when you brought it to them. So like, at that point, you are well within your rights and reason to let them go and do what it is you do. But to say like men aren't going to arrive at that point, or should have already come to that point, when you are plenty capable of taking them to a greater level is the part where I disagree. So like I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all. I just like I really don't want to see y'all give up on us because we aren't completed projects when we arrive to you.
Yeah. And I like Jasmine's comment about she said, I think the issue is that people want people to come finished. Most of us are work in progress and grow and grow even further with the love and exposure of our partners. So I mean that was one of my, biggest things was like listen, we either gonna grow together or we're gonna grow apart, but we're still gonna grow.
Okay.
We gotta continue to grow together. And that's the main thing. That's the piece of the puzzle right there. We're all headed down a path, a journey, right? And so especially if you're married, right, you got to say, we're gonna do this together. Like we're gonna grow together, make that commitment. Otherwise, you're gonna be headed off. So now you might have like different goals and dreams as far as like maybe career, or maybe you might have certain wants that you have, certain goals that you want to accomplish. But the sharing of it, right? Well, here's what I want to do, and here's how I think we can continue down the path together, and you start to just learn and grow together. Like, it's one of my pet peeves is just when people expect somebody to just know you, just period, right? It's like, well, wait a minute. Your likes, your wants, all of those things, they change over time. You change over time. You start to develop. You start to, you learn what you liked when you were in your 20s is different than what you liked in your 30s, different than what you like in your 40s. Things change. And if you're not continuously learning about your partner, and growing with them, then that just, that's a recipe for, splitting, so that has a lot to do with it, as well. So
it's loaded.
Yep.
I like these comments. Keep it coming.
Yeah,
So-
y'all are definitely bringing up some great points in the comments. I just want to jump in real quick because there was, I think it was Jasmine's comment. Yeah, Jazz said this one. And I want to address this as well as what Patrice is saying, because I mean, what Patrice is saying is that her preference is your preference, and I'm whatever, man. Your preference is your preference. I'm good with that. But the issue is that people want there's an unrealistic expectation. That's what it was. One of y'all said a Disney comment. There's an unrealistic expectation. Was that Jazz?
Jamie,
About
I think it might have been Jamie.
Was it Jamie?
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, this did. Thank you, Jamie. Team dark skin out here. All right. Honestly, Disney and TV ruined us because that's where most of us see modern relationships. Now, in season 1, we talked about that. We talked about that the false happy ending, the false narrative of a happy ending. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
I know it was like a year ago, but we talked about that. And she's absolutely right. That's one of the things we discussed is that, we see that let's take the Little Mermaid, for example, right? The Little Mermaid, Eric, first of all, by the way, I don't know what they're gonna do with this new Little Mermaid, but by the way, I'm just saying the whole point was that she wanted to be with him. That's it. That's the whole point. All right, part of his. She wanted to be part of his world. I don't know what they're gonna do with this next one because it's 2023. But
they took some stuff out.
Yeah.
My nerves.
Yeah.
People getting on my nerves.
People make me sick. Anyway, we ain't gonna talk about the Little Mermaid right now. Yet.
They did it to Space Jam too, but whatever,
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. We're gonna go back. We'll go back
and miss the moment. It's pissing me off.
See, man, we be triggering the bros out here. I'm trying not to trigger the bros.
They really missed it though. Like they so busy trying to be woke, they missed the whole moment. If you were that mad about Pepe Le Pew and sexual assault and all of that, you leave the scene in there because LeBron James had a teachable moment with him. LeBron James taught him in the movie. So why would you take it out? If you're trying to get the point across, why take him out?
Because it's not about a point, it's about an agenda.
Stupid.
I mean, if we want to shift the conversation there, that's what it is. It's because it's not about a point, it's about an agenda.
Which is
what
stupid.
I'm saying? It is stupid. I agree. I totally agree. I think the entire agenda is stupid.
Because your agenda is to teach that sexual assault is wrong. Your agenda is to teach you don't force yourself on women. So if he was doing that and LeBron James said, this is not how you do it, you leave the scene in to prove the point.
But
stupid.
It's okay to be predatory on people if you're part of a certain community.
Wow, are you saying that certain communities are protected?
Absolutely. That is absolutely what I'm saying. Hey, here's a question. Here's a question. I know this is a little bit off topic, but here's a question to this exact point. We know everything there is to know about the Marine that killed let's be honest, the criminal Jordan Neely in New York on the train station. We know all kind of stuff about him. Anybody know where that manifesto from Audrey Hale is?
Absolutely.
It's been a month. It's been a month and a half. Anybody know where the manifesto for the woman who identified as a man that shot up that Christian school, killed 3 kids and 3 teachers? Anybody know where that manifesto at? It's been a month and a half. And they found it a month and a half ago. Anybody know where that's at?
Of course not.
Right. All right, anyway. Anyway. We wasn't even supposed to go there. Here's where we supposed to be at. One thing I want to point out is the Lois Lane complex, right? And we kind of talked about that towards the end of the video. It was you look at Lois Lane, and she from her perspective had Clark Kent and Superman, right? Clark Kent was a good guy, probably a size 6, right? I'm sorry. Actually, probably literally was whatever Superman was because he is Superman, but that's not the point, okay? But Clark Kent, assuming they were 2 separate people, Clark Kent was a nice guy. He was mild-mannered. He was laid back. He was chill. He, maybe even somewhat of a simp, but he was a nice guy, right? And then you have Superman, who is the polar opposite of Clark Kent. And yes, actually, in real life, whether it be the comics, whether it be the movies, whether it be the Lois and Clark series, at some point, Lois wanted Superman to be more like Clark Kent, which is what we're starting to see nowadays. We're starting to see the whole independent women thing being shredded a little bit, little by little. More and more women are saying, "Hey, man, this actually isn't good for me." Right, because that's not what it's supposed to be, right? You shouldn't be you're not supposed to be dating people based on financial status, and that's the problem. The problem with what Ebony K said is not that she has a preference. The problem is that her preference is to something that's not important. Because let me tell you something. You know where the owner of a bus company is not going to be? At home with you. Okay? That's where he's not going to be. He's not going to be at home with you. You know why? Because he's going to be handling business. He's going to be growing the business. You understand what I'm saying? You take a cat that is trying to go make it, and men and women. You take somebody that's trying to go make it in a particular industry, and they're trying to do everything they can to make it in that particular industry, and it's a demanding industry. I don't know. Fuck. Being an artist, being an actor, actress, being a talk show host, doing podcasts. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything like that. Right? The reality is, if you got somebody that's solely focused on that, you know where they're not going to be? At home with you and your kids.
I gotta interrupt, yo, because do they even think about the mentality of someone at that level when they already know? And I think I touched on it before. They already know, Like, I'm a rare commodity. I know I can listen. I'm gonna tell you what it is up front, and you're gonna have this lofty idea that you're gonna change me, even though I know that a drop of a dime, I can let you go and have another one like that, snapping my fingers. Matter of fact, I already got my starting five. I already got my starting five.
Because people with money got options. Because people with money have options.
So,
particularly men with money. Men with money especially have options. Men with status have options.
Everything comes with some kind of sacrifice. So that the higher the salary goes, the less available the person becomes.
Yep.
You can almost bank on that. It's rare that a super high salary is connected to a person with a bunch of free time.
Nope. It's like not even possible almost.
Sounds like an oxymoron to me.
Right. Because if you're at home, you're not making money. And if you're making money, you're not at home. You know what I'm saying? So we got to think about this. Again, we talked about being strategic. I think Q, you brought that up. Talk about being strategic when it comes to this. We got to be strategic. Ladies, y'all got to be strategic with your expectations too. You really want to get. I'm not knocking a business owner. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a man that's got a lot of hustle, has got a lot of grind, he's going to get out there and get the bread. There's nothing at all wrong with that. But there's also nothing wrong with the guy that works the honest living and works a 9 to 5, the school teacher, for example, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? And I think there are people who have this idea that regular income, regular salary, or whatever is not going to do enough for you. And I would argue that those are people who actually don't know how this money game works in the first place. Who actually don't know how much things cost in the first place. You hear him saying silly shit sometimes, like he got to make at least $400,000 a year. Do you have any idea what $400,000 a year looks like for real? And then on top of that, do you have any idea what type of grind people who make $400,000 a year are on? I can guarantee you one thing. I can guarantee you one thing. It ain't no fucking 9 to 5. It's probably a 9 to 12, like a 9 to midnight. And probably more than that. Probably more like a 9 to 3 a.m.
Or it's something that's going to get you indicted.
Or something that's going to get you in that facts. And then that where you're going to be at there. Right? But see, this is the thing. I read a study this week, and it said that it was Forbes, I think. The Forbes top 100 wealthiest women. Right? Out of the top 100, 98 of them came up on their money through divorce and alimony and child support. Divorce, alimony, child support. That's how many of them, not all of them, but according to this report, 98 of the 100 came into their money. Now, they might have taken the money and, because it's easy to start a business when you can just buy it. Like I was saying last week, it's easy to take over and, knock down the patriarchy and put up the matriarchy. It's easy to do that when everything's already built. Everything already established. You know what I'm saying? So
again, Trey. Right? In a one percenter's mind, knowing these facts, because I'm pretty sure they know these facts. They look at it. They know. Come on. They know when a female is just out to get them for their money. Have a baby, be a millionaire.
Yep. Yeah, that part. Say it again for the people in the back.
At this stage in the game, they're already hip. So why would they even be looking to keep you long term? What's the benefit? What's the benefit of them marrying you or keeping you long term? What's the benefit for that man? What's the benefit there?
I don't think there is one.
You got the golden ticket. You think you out of all of them, you think you the one?
And even still, let's be honest here. Men, look, I'm gonna throw this out there. We can dive into it because we're getting late. We can dive into it a little bit more next week. But men value respect more than love. Okay, all right, ladies, I'm telling y'all something. Ladies, I'm telling y'all some real shit right now. Okay, men value respect more than love. So sometimes you see men. Sometimes you hear that, oh, I did everything for him and this, that, and the other, and I cooked, I cleaned, I sucked his dick, blah 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 blah. Right? Sometimes you hear that, but let me tell you something. All that shit is cute, but we value peace and respect more than we value love in your box. This is not to say that love and your box are not important.
But
What I'm saying is we value peace and respect more than we value love in your box.
it goes a long, long way. And peace and respect to me is gratitude and respect, but like those things go a long way. And it goes back to the part of the video. Like you ask a woman, about a man, it's going to be connected to something financial. You ask a man about a woman, it's going to be connected to something intangible. Like that.
Yep. Every time.
Every time. Like we gotta, and I mean, even to tip on the suicide part, like a man, and like, let's bring it home. A black man is literally, every time a black man walks out the door, he is fighting the world. And again, that's the tip back to social media that says black man should pay for everything and provide for everything and do everything and show up for everything and never feel a thing and never have a weak moment and never, like, nothing. That's what social media says. And then in the work world, the black man can't be too angry because he's viewed as an angry black man. He can't be too this, he can't be too that. If his car gets pulled over, he's got to be compliant. And even if he's compliant, it may turn into something else. Like there's so many things that exist to break a black man that you're literally like afraid at times to walk out the door. And I'm telling y'all that from personal experience, not just some stuff I read on the internet. Like there have been times where I've been fearful to leave my house simply because of the color of my skin. And this ain't no Martin Luther King thing. This is a 2013, 2014, 2015. Like every time I go somewhere, my car is getting stopped because I'm a black male in a car that was newer than somebody else's. So like we already fighting the world. Why we gotta fight y'all too? I like that's the point we're trying to make. Like be the peace, and that's not to say let us get away with murder, because that's like your man, not your man who identifies as a man but he's a boy. Your man is going to show up for you in ways that you could never imagine, but you cannot fight that man at every turn. Everything you feel is not a battle. Everything you feel is not a battle. Check yourself before you bring it to him. Like, am I being paranoid? What is it with me that makes me feel this way? And some of that stuff is valid, which again, bring those things up, but bring it in a way that's respectful and not accusatory. Because we going to do the same thing. But it's all of this is again about grace and relationships. If we've taken the time to get to know each other, I know what your triggers are. I know when's the best time to talk to you. You're not a morning person? Cool. Let's not discuss this in the morning. You prefer to do it when you get off of work. That's conversation. That's getting to know somebody. That's checking your ego at the door. Like there's a ton that goes into this, and we're gonna get this card out the way, damn it, because we done said God in therapy a ton of times, and I've been holding this in my hand. So let's have an out-of-body experience. What advice would you give your best friend about dating? And I'm a tack a piece on this because we got two married men on the tap about marriage. So it's dating and it's marriage. What advice would you give your best friend? Because your best friend, you're going to protect at all costs. So that looks different than a person you just, you know what I'm saying? This is different than barbershop talk. What are you telling your best friend about dating? What are you telling your best friend about marriage?
First thing I'm telling them is you got to know what you want.
Yep.
Communication is the key. I'm telling them, like, listen, you really got to know, is this for me? Is marriage for me? I do advocate for marriage. I do advocate for those that feel that, they're on the fence. And I'm just like, listen, if it's for you, it's for you. And if it's not, just listen, you don't go into it. Like, at first I used to be all in, like, yeah, everybody in the world should be married. This is not the society. It's not the culture we live in. If it's for you, if it's for you, it's for you. And if it's not, be comfortable with that. And just be truthful, be upfront, be honest. Go into it with, communication again being the key. The biggest advice I could give is that it's like, just know, like, discern, like, do everything up front. Don't wait. Don't like sit on things. Like, don't let it fester. Now that's not to say like to try to pry something out of your partner. You got to know them. Is your partner the type that they need to take a second, think, and then y'all come back and talk about it? You got to know your partner as well. So, know yourself. Do you need a second to think about it, and come back? And that's some of the things that's all communication though. All of that, what I just said is communication.
Well, I would say, so the irony in this is that, Rich is right here. So, and he is married. So, so what I would say, assuming he wasn't, is, does she make you feel at peace? I would literally ask that question. Does she make you feel at peace? Does she make you feel respected? Does she make you feel loved? Do you look forward to leaving work and going home? Right? Okay, because I got to be honest, I've been in, relationships with people where I felt more like being at work than I felt like being at home. Okay, because if I was going to be in contention, if I was going to be at war, I'd rather be at war outside the house than inside my house. You know what I'm saying? So if it's going to be a war zone every day, then I'm going to be at work every day, where at least my war zone is going to pay me. I'm not going to come home to a war zone.
Oh, there's a benefit there.
Hello? And there's no benefit in coming home to a war zone. Come home to a war zone, and then I, try to make up with you at the end of the night, tell you lay your head right here. And you're like, I know you ain't trying to. Come on, man. Anybody got time for that? Nobody got time for that. Nobody has time for that. No man wants that. Okay? You arguing with your man, you giving him all these other excuses and BS reasons why you ain't trying to, have his foot fit in your shoe. You know what I'm saying? You giving all these excuses. Listen. We value respect. We value peace. That does not equal respect or peace. Guess what's going to happen? We're probably going to go get some variation of it elsewhere. Because the funny thing about your box, it comes standard on every woman, every real woman. Okay? That's the one thing about your box. You think your box is great, and that's great and all, but that literally comes standard on every woman. Okay?
Talk about it.
And I ain't found a woman yet that thinks she got trash box. I ain't found a woman yet that don't think she got bomb box. So guess what? We can get good box from anybody. There's a whole bunch of women that can cook. We can get that from anybody. What else y'all say? Cook, clean, take care of home. There's a bunch of women that like to be organized and just keep a generally clean house. We can get that from anywhere. And if we can't get that from anywhere, we can buy it.
There's a lot of women.
My bad. What do you bring to the table? I know y'all hate that question.
There's a lot of women out here that think they're the best at polishing shoes.
But guess what? All of them think they're good at polishing shoes. All of them think they got the best shoe polish in the world. All of them think they give you the best shine. All of them think that.
Shoe polish was not created equal.
Well, you know, a funny thing is too, every box ain't designed to fit my shoe.
Hey, some of them, some shoes been worn out, stretched out too much.
Every box ain't made for my shoe. If I'm a Prado or a Fendi, why I'm putting my shoe in the Payless box? If I know my worth, why I'm settling for less?
Well, obviously we're settling for a lot of stuff. So again, 80%. Because so fellas, this still falls back on us. 80% of us are still having babies outside of marriage. 80% almost. Probably is 80% at this point, right? 80%. So it still starts with us.
At the end of the day, you know what? I'm glad you said it, because I feel like sometimes, some, not all, right? It's some, not all. I feel like sometimes, some females don't believe we check our brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that we absolutely do. Check our brothers. You know what I'm saying? If they go off the, off the, deep end. You know what I'm saying? You can't swim, so what you doing jumping off?
What you doing in the water?
What you doing?
You about to jump off? You about to jump in the water and your ass can't swim.
But it does, man. But you know what? We are still just us brothers in this room. You know what I'm saying? We are still like I would call us, a rare commodity, because not a lot of times there's still a lot of people out there that don't have that brother community, that tight-knit bond, you know what I'm saying? Or the culture, the community that they grew up in, they have different outlooks that aren't the same as ours, and they need to be exposed to our way of thinking, exposed to this conversation. You know what I'm saying? This conversation we're having right now. And this is actually one of the reasons why we said, you know what? More people need to hear what we talking about. This is actually the reason why we, are on here now.
Literally,
people listen in, because we had these talks amongst ourselves. And we say, hey, some people need to hear some of the things we talk about.
I mean, straight up, for real. Like one of the things I straight up asked Rich was like, why do you want to marry her? Why do you want to marry her? You know what I'm saying? I would legit ask my best friend, and I did ask my best friend why, and he did too. Trust.
Exactly.
Trust. Like this whole concept. Men don't check each other. Bullshit. Listen, real men do, because I definitely questioned him, and he definitely questioned me.
It's happening.
And Kev and Q, whenever that day comes, just best believe I'm gonna be asking y'all too. And Kev, you already know. We've had some sidebar conversations.
Listen,
you already know.
If there's ever been a point where, you know what I'm saying, I'm dating or seriously considering a person, that's where the conversations start. And it's why I say, like, in general, you don't put yourself where you are, you put yourself where you want to be. And so my relationships are connected to brothers who are married and who have been in long-term relationships and who are men of God and who, provide for their families. Like, there's nobody in my circle who doesn't take care of their kids. There's nobody in my circle who's stepping out on their wives. There's nobody like that. Stuff doesn't exist with us because our priorities and our like the things that we value the most are greater than the things that a rapper tells you needs to exist. So like it's not happening. It's not happening that way for us. So yeah, like that's is 100% true. Like if you're in this circle, it's because you have morals and values and character, and the world doesn't sway you from who you are and what you think and how you feel. Like, and that's biblical. We're not supposed to be easily swayed. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not hot or cold for God. You're on fire for him all the time. So that's the people I associate myself with, regardless of my relationship status. And I aspire to be what, what I'm saying, like what these bros are. So like, yeah, it's wild out here in these streets. The one thing I did want to touch, Lady Vix, that's who you made yourself. So that's what I'm gonna call you. You can have, you can be all the peace you can be for your partner, but the lack of peace,
My bad, wrong one. My fault.
the lack of peace within themselves. And again, like that's, this is probably doubling back to what Patrice said and talking about potential, like, because somebody can try to sell that product to you that they have worked on themselves and they've healed themselves and they have peace and they know peace and they're connected to God and they're not easily triggered and whatever. But then the rubber meets the road and you see what really exists in them. Like they tell you they're a person who has had anger issues, but they know how to deal with them. And then you put them in a scenario, and not even you put them in a scenario. Life just draws them to that scenario where they have to exercise some patience and some understanding and a cool tongue, and they can't do it. Like that's the peace that should be within themselves, but is not. And so, this is where I caution people. You have to take your time. Like we're, again, society says you're supposed to be married by this age. You're supposed to have kids by this age. You're supposed to own a house by this age and do this by this age. And if you follow what society says, you're going to lose your mind. But if that peace is within yourself, then you don't step out of your own character to appease some bars that are made to exist that don't apply to people.
And that don't really exist.
They don't really exist. It's an imaginary bar. It's an imaginary standard. It's unrealistic. Yeah. It's not fit for the time that we're in. Like, we're not offering up our daughters for cattle anymore.
Right.
Like this is not what's happening. Like y'all got, again, you have to discover who you are. You have to be sure of yourself. You got to know what you want. If you like leave your things vague, and I love women for the vision boards they create. Like it doesn't seem like a man thing. I know men create vision boards, but like it really just seems like more of a women thing, and I love them for that because they, again, write the vision, make it plain, so if you can see that thing for yourself, the more likely it is to come true because you're constantly challenging yourself to reach what it is you set for yourself. Not saying men don't have visions for themselves. We just go about it a little differently. It's a task list where y'all's is a vision board. Same thing, different way to get there. We got a lot of stuff with us, but it's gonna be good.
Yeah. I wanted to jump in on what Lady Vic said too. Because she's absolutely right. I mean, you got to have peace within yourselves, but then also, ladies, this is where also understanding that man doesn't have peace within himself comes in too, right? And you can't fall in love with potential. I know we've been talking about that. It's kind of been a theme, but you really can't fall in love with potential, right? Like a lot of people have a lot of potential to do a lot of things, but that don't mean they have the aptitude to do it. That don't mean they have the motivation to do it, the drive to do it. I mean, they got the testicular fortitude to do it. You know what I'm saying? They don't got the models to do it, the cojones to do it. They're not mature.
There you go. There you go.
And can we say stop? Like, can we say stop forcing a man to that point? Like, And that's not to say that they won't marry you. It's just if you're constantly saying, I need you to marry me now, or I need to be engaged now, then you're, you know what I'm saying, like taking a man out of his like alignment and his timing. Like who's like, because who are you as a flesh filled woman to say that the man you are with is not talking to God about the timing in which he is supposed to propose to you or marry you or whatever the case may be. So like again, we got these timelines for ourselves. Oh, no. Like if you want to make God laugh, tell him what you're supposed, like tell him what your plans are.
That part, and and I was just about to say, if you notice, the thing that you keep saying is me, my plans. It's all about me. I want this, I want that, right? And for real, that's out of alignment in the first place. That in and of itself is out of alignment in the first place. Again, ladies, now I'm gonna tell y'all something else that you may not hear on Sunday when you go to church. All right, you're gonna hear that you ain't supposed to be judging people, and that's true that you're not supposed to judge as far as condemnation is concerned. But you absolutely are supposed to judge people. Okay, you absolutely are supposed to judge people for their actions. You know you know a tree by the fruit it produces. Period. So you judge that tree by the fruit it produces. You're not going to look at a general tree that produces no fruit and call it an apple tree. You can't, because it's not an apple tree. It's just a tree.
But all these trees are 10s out here, Trey.
But
all these
that part. 10s. And all these trees are 10s. Hello, you see what we did there? See what he did there? That's my LB right there. That's my motherfucking LB right there. You see what he did? Right? All these trees are 10s though. No, they're not. Okay? You absolutely not only can you judge, you are supposed to judge. You are supposed to be in judgment of the people that you keep around you, the people that you allow yourself to be entangled with. One of you mentioned earlier you got to be equally yoked. Well, that's true. That's where judgment comes in. Because if you're not judging the people around you, you'll be yoked with everybody, equal or unequal. Okay, so yeah, you got to be, so again, you are supposed to judge, but you also got to judge you first. What kind of person are you? To Kev's point, Kev made it a point to surround himself. I've been drinking. Surround himself with people that he views are stand-up men. This doesn't mean we're perfect. Far from it. Okay. Far from it. Make mistakes every day. My wife will tell you about them. Okay. She got a laundry list a couple miles long. Okay. I make mistakes every day. All right. But I value my wife. I value my marriage. I value my family. I value my kids, all of them, even the one I have outside of my marriage. I value all of my kids, and I'll do everything I can for them. Everything. Right. Like that's the kind of people that we are. You got, again, Rich, gotta, he take care of, his wife's kid. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the kind of man he is. Okay, cool. I'm marrying you. That means I'm marrying all of you. Everything that comes with you. And that's really what that means. If I'm marrying you, I am connecting myself to all of you and everything that comes with you. And I have accepted all of you and everything that comes with you. And unless you break vows, I'm accepting all of you and everything that comes with you, including you get sick, get hurt, can't work, lose your job, you break your foot, something like that. You have an outburst, you have some moments of not being perfect. That includes all of that. I'm just saying. Okay. And then the last thing I'm gonna say is, where was Lady Vic? Here we go. Some of our brothers have the community, but run from and will lack the accountability.
Man.
That's a loaded statement right there, lady.
But it's dead on, because, and like this is where disconnect happens, because like you can't ask for something you're not ready for. if you say I want people around me who are going to hold me accountable, you got to be ready to hear some stuff that
you
rubs you
don't
the wrong.
necessarily want to hear.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want yes men around me. Like tell me I'm right when I'm right, but
Yeah.
let me know that I'm wrong when I'm wrong. Like
Yeah,
and
gut check me.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Like and
It's
and
cruel.
and
It's cruel to
it's
not do that. That's cruel
it's
to a person.
right. It's love when you do it for a
Yeah.
person. Like
Yeah.
because I love you, I cannot allow you to cheat on your husband. Because I love you, I can't let you cheat on your wife. Because I love you, I can't let you continue to talk to your kids that way. Because I love you, I can't let you spend more money on alcohol than you do on tutors for your children. Like
That part.
because I love you, I'm gonna take these keys out your hand. Because I love you, you got to go to work today. Because I love you, like I'm gonna let you know that's not the way to talk to your kids. Because I love you, I'm gonna let you know like you're not living up to what you said you were gonna do. You said you wanted to be at this point in your career by this point, but I haven't seen you make one move towards that. Like it's pushing you past your comfort zone. It's holding you accountable when you're making mistakes. It's like calling you on your bullshit because that's exactly what it is. Like, and if you aren't allowing those people to be around you because they make it uncomfortable for you, you're not ready for whatever it is you say you are. Like the yes men are going to keep your ego inflated. The people who
That
love
part.
you are going to, you know what I'm saying, bring you back down to earth because you need it.
Yep. Yep. We're gonna tell you what you need to hear,
Not what you
whether
want to
you
hear.
want to hear it, or whether you want to hear it or not. Okay. And anybody that knows me knows that if I love you, I'm gonna tell you the real shit. If I don't, I'm gonna be like, Drew. I won't say if I don't, because I love all of you. But I'm saying like if I'm just like, okay, whatever, you might just get a true out of me. You know what
You
I'm
got it.
saying? Straight up, straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, so all of you who I've ever had like back and forths with, understand that that's out of love because I care about you. And I might be wrong, that's fine, but I'm asking questions because I don't understand. I need you to explain this to me. I need you to explain this to me. Why are you dealing with this person when this person did these things to you? Why are you, I just want to know. I want to know. You hadn't thought about that? Okay, well, think about it for a second. Why are you allowing yourself to continue to deal with this person that has treated you this way? Why are you allowing yourself to move forward in a life covenant of sorts, whether it be marriage or babies, in a life covenant of sorts with this person who has done these things or makes you feel this way, or you aren't comfortable tying the knot with, you're not comfortable marrying? Why would you have a baby by somebody you ain't comfortable marrying? For example, why would you have a baby by some? And I've heard people say this. Why do you want to marry this guy? Cause I think we make cute babies. I've literally heard people say shit like that. It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Doggone prioritizing and having children over, marrying the right man. That's ridiculous.
And your baby could be ugly.
And your baby could still be ugly. Recessive genes are real. You
And
mess around, have an old great granddaddy that was ugly as fuck, and your baby come out looking like that.
and beauty's in the eye of the beholder, you know?
Yeah, that part. And that said, there is out of the 100 million people, 100 billion people there are in the world, there's specifically one that's going to always see you as a perfect 10. That don't necessarily mean you are. So, like we saw at the top of the show, we had a chick that, I mean, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I wouldn't, I, she was, hey, listen, I ain't nothing against Big Jones, but she was a big jump. That's not my thing.
Her
Okay.
eyebrows are really nice though.
Her eyebrows were nice, and I'm not even saying she's an ugly chick. I'm saying if she started to come down a little bit, then probably more men would find her attractive, generally speaking.
Wait,
But to
which one
say
are we talking about?
the trans slender chick, the trans slender chick.
Oh, the man.
We're not. No. She's an actual
No,
woman.
she's a woman. It's a woman. It's a woman.
the title
I'm
of
sorry.
the thing.
I get kind of confused when they
self-proclaimed baddie. She was a big
baddie.
The self-proclaimed baddie, right? The heavy set one.
Yeah, that was a chick though. That wasn't a dude.
That's big.
Huh?
Yeah.
That ain't heavy set. That's big.
The big,
big.
She's like she was north of
the one that was
300
like wait, the one that bust through the wall and was like, oh yeah, that one.
No.
Listen, I thought she said she was she started as a he and became a she. I'm just trying to figure out, like, for real. Like I'm really just trying to. I'm just trying to figure out. Now I could have sworn I saw a different clip that said that she started as a he and became a she. Like,
oh shit, really?
One. Yeah,
the big show, really?
Yeah, that I saw. You talking about the one that looked like this?
Yeah, the one that was at the Dairy Queen. The one that said she was at the drive-thru at the Dairy Queen finna eat her feelings. That one.
That we talking about the same one, right?
Yeah, damn, she's a dude. Right? I thought she was a chick.
That's not a dude.
Hey, man,
I'm almost that's
got the high voice. Like, listen, I thought I saw another clip that showed her saying like, she was transitioned back in high school or something, you know, she grew, her confidence grew or whatever, and she was getting all this positive feedback, and you know, again, social media, and you know, she just believes that she's a 10, like she's a baddie. We talking about the same one, right? She believes.
So wait, hold on, wait. Because what you're saying is that this dude, this overweight guy, thinks that he's a bad bitch.
Yeah.
But he's an offensive tackle.
I mean, at bare minimum, sumo wrestler maybe.
You know.
Well, it's the big show.
I'm just trying to. All right.
I don't know.
Listen, whatever, man. Love the skin that you're in, but what I'm saying is,
don't force me to believe the same things that
you
still
going. Q logged off.
I think that one took him out of there. I think that one did. Listen, I'm just saying, don't try to force me to believe what you believe.
I ain't gotta believe your delusion. I don't gotta believe your delusions. All right.
It is wild out here.
It is. So yeah. So anyway, so I guess moral of this story is you know, fellas, you got. Hey, listen. Speaking of the dude though, but let me tell you something, fellas. You gotta be sure. You gotta check it. You gotta check. You gotta check, because I'm seeing more and more stories popping up of like, it's almost like a challenge, you know, for these, you know, not women, to, you know, do something sexual with a guy that's straight, and that seems to be their thing. So watch yourself, you know, with these, you know, not women, you know, whatever a woman is.
Moral of that story, right? But the moral of our main topic is, it's grace, man. I think you know what you want as far as these expectations go. Again, if you think you deserve and you want, deserve, and all of that, a 1%er, know what that comes with. If the bus driver's not good enough for you, that's fine. He will pass you by and somebody else is gonna snag him up. I'm just saying, don't be out here complaining. Don't be out here blaming the majority of men when the majority of men aren't the 1%ers. So are you really mad at the majority for not being the 1%ers? Because if majority of men were 1%ers, then they wouldn't be.
There wouldn't be 1%. There wouldn't be a 1%.
There will be 12.
Anyway, hey, listen. On both sides, we got to get things together. All right.
1%ers don't stay. The 1%ers on average don't stay married long. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Most 1%ers have been married many times. Okay, this is Steve Harvey. Somebody mentioned Steve Harvey in the comments. Or I think it was Jason. Mentioned Steve Harvey, and there was a video we didn't get to about him, talking that bullshit about the table. We'll get to that. But Steve Harvey, that shit cute and all, but Steve Harvey been married like 3-4 times.
That nigga wrote them books, and they sold. But
they got all these women out here thinking they men.
Ask how many women waited for 90 days.
Just to find out the shoe don't fit.
Good night. Come on, let's thank some mothers. Let's thank some mothers.
It probably would fit if there weren't so many feet in the shoe.
Are we thanking mothers yet?
Because when you get a shoe straight out the store, like a shoe straight out the box, it's like a perfect fit. But that shoe been tried on by many different feet.
Sometimes you gotta break that shoe in.
Them shoes straight out the store hard to get into.
Sometimes you gotta break that shoe.
Sometimes you gotta break the shoe in. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you.
That shoe that's in the store be a little tight, so you know.
That's because the shoe in the store knows it's gonna get tried on by many feet. I'm saying a shoe that's been tried on by many feet, a 6 don't fit like a 6. A 6 might fit like an 8.
Let's thank some mothers.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Rapid fire. Let's get out of here.
We're back. Okay. Cool.
Oh Lord. You still signed yourself out. Okay. All right. No worries. It's all good.
Q quit.
Q quit. He said, I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm not doing this with y'all tonight. Oh boy. Okay. We got. My goodness, we rolling today. We're just gonna do the one topic, and talk about a few other general things about out here. So, the video. Here we go. All right. So let's just put a little context on this. There's a little bit of talk about things being in alignment, right? A lot of times, many of us understand the alignment is, from God down, right? God, the husband, the wife, the kid, right? Which, by the way, women, the women being the expander, that's what a wife means, is, the expander or the authority of the home. That's literally what wife in Greek, and husband is the authority in the home. Right, so you got the authority and the expansion, right? So the wife is going to expand whatever it is. So if your wife, you give a wife anything, she's going to expand on it. You give her bullshit, she's going to expand on your bullshit. All right. So anyway, so that's just what it is. I just wanted to throw that out there. But that being said, the point is that you generally we get these kinds of things from church, and I saw a pretty controversial, I think it was a controversial video taking place on Easter Sunday. Some of you may be familiar with Transformation Church and Pastor Michael Todd. I gotta be honest, I've listened to some of his messages, and they're pretty good, but I've also heard some of his messages that were a little not scriptural. Okay, and in the end, for me, that's all I care about. Is it what the Bible says? If you want to be up there preaching the word, are you preaching what the word actually says, or you preaching some BS that's in your head? But anyway, with all that being said, came across this video talking about Easter Sunday. What happened at Transformation? Let's take a look.
You think it's a game? Get fire on these bitches one time.
Okay, demons, now let's get information. Let's make the most of the night like we're gonna die young.
what you need to do. Step 1, find you a baddie. Okay. But step 2, he gotta have a fatty. Hey. Yeah. Look back at it. Uh-oh. What is she doing? Friends, I don't have a fatty. Girl, we keep telling you it's okay. Your little booty matter too, friend. Y'all know they don't be discriminating.
That's wild. That's wild. All of that. That what y'all just saw was wild, and what y'all didn't see was wild too. Okay, anyway.
God is good all the time, and all the time God is
all
good.
the time. All right, 4 minutes, man. What y'all got on this?
I just said it. God is good all the time. all the time, God is good.
Listen, you know what? This is perfect for the text message that I got today. Hold on, where is it at? Oh gosh, it says. Let me see. Hold on, is this the one? I'll summarize it because I can't find it. It basically said, I dare you to step away from the entertainment, the lights and the glam and all of that. I dare you to step away from all of that entertainment and stuff and get your Bible and really be at home, with you or you and your family, and really discern the Bible for yourself, because he was basically saying that the church is becoming too much of a show, an entertainment place, a place, yeah.
I'm dying. No, so I probably for me the biggest thing is the gospel preaches itself, and so which I won't say I don't get it, because I do get it, that the generation that we're dealing with is so easily distracted that you almost have to reinvent the church to keep them engaged, but then you wonder at what point are you getting away from what the gospel is. And that's what we just saw. It's filled with pyrotechnics and I'm saying, everything that's culturally savvy and whatever the case may be, but we're missing the gospel truth of the message. And so I this almost belongs at fair or foul. I can understand what Mike Todd is trying to do. However, he's gone way away from just letting the gospel be the gospel. And you just kind of got to hope that if you're preaching the gospel, what you're saying will be enough for these people to realize that Jesus Christ is the way. We can't completely water
to this world.
Right, we can't
transformed
because we're not do not be conformed, and that's what's happening here. So I get it, but it don't nah, you've gone too far.
Yeah. There's definitely a line of trying to appeal to certain people and let them know we understand what's out here, and then it's putting on a blatant show. I get it. The ones that were doing okay, again, it was clear. Okay, demons in, let's get in formation. I get all that, but the reality is that, like you said, the word preaches itself. The word takes care of itself. It doesn't need pyrotechnics. It don't need all that extra crap. It never did. It never did need all that crap. Okay, so the reality is that's kind of making a mockery of the word and of the message in the first place, if you ask me, right? I and again, I've listened to Mike Todd a few times. I like some of his sermons and stuff like that, but I've also gone and looked at some of his background, and even he said, he doesn't know how he became a pastor. Right. Well, that's clear. That's obvious. He didn't know. He wasn't prepared to become a pastor. Like he was kind of, told, he was voluntold to be the pastor. I mean, well, yeah, duh, that's pretty obvious. There's nobody there that's over top of you, and this is how church is supposed to be. There's nobody there that's kind of watching you and make sure that what you're doing is actually in alignment with what the Word of God actually says, right? And there's a lot of pastors that, a lot of places that are emulating this style. I mean, again, so here's the thing. Like one thing that he said was he was, inviting members of a particular community into the church, and I think that they do belong in the church, but not to do anything, not to leave the way they came though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't supposed to go to the church, right, and come out the same way. Like just like you don't supposed to go to a hospital and come out the same sick. You don't supposed to go to a hospital and come out with the same wound. You know what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to go into the hospital, and when you come out, you're supposed to be better. Right? It's supposed to be the same thing when you go into a church. So while yeah, I'm with you. I get it. I get the in our mind and in the man's mind thinking that we got to do these things to appeal. But Proverbs 14:12, there's a way that appeals that appears right to man. There's a way that appears right to man, but that road leads to death. That road leads to destruction. That road leads to an end. It does not lead where you think it's gonna. So yeah, I understand. If you look at all the other stuff that's around you, and if you're fighting with, things of this world, then absolutely you're gonna be like, I need to do these other things in order to get people in my congregation. When again, in the end, the word takes care of itself. It ain't about your membership, because that membership in your church don't listen. There's a bunch of people who go to church every week. They ain't gonna make it in heaven.
Hello.
Okay, I'm just saying, there's a bunch of people in your congregation ain't gonna be in heaven. It's a bunch of people in your choir ain't gonna be in heaven. I mean, a bunch of people preaching at you from the pulpit. They ain't gonna be there. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying, and I ain't say it. The Bible said it. So, all right.
Yeah.
Let's look at this.
Shanae is killing this, but the church leadership board grew silent once he started bringing in them coins. Like we see it, and it's not just a religious thing; it's a political thing. Like where the money is, that's where your loyalty is going to go. And again, that drives us further away from God, because they, like when Jesus had his 40 days in the wilderness, the devil literally showed him the world and said, all of this could be yours if you just bow down and worship me. And he was like, like he said no over and over and over again. Like man shall not be tempted by bread alone. Like the rewards of the world are not enough to cover what God is doing for us. So like, yeah, there's so much to this.
Yep. We don't have a whole lot of time to get into that, but what I will say is that the love of money is the root of all evil.
And is.
Okay, so again, that leadership board got silent when he started bringing in coins, because coins became their god. Okay, and that's something, again, listen, I ain't here to pass judgment on nobody. You know what it is. I ain't passing judgment on nobody, but I can see things for what they are. Y'all know what it is. Anyway, next thing on the rapid fire tip. This is actually pretty interesting. I saw this kind of generally making its rounds on the internet, and this is an interesting conversation here. Do y'all think that there was a different reaction in the death of Jerry Springer versus the death of Kevin Samuels?
Absolutely.
Listen, here's what I'll say on that real quick. Kevin Samuels, he had his 1 year memorial show on his channel on YouTube, which actually was pretty dope. Shout out to that. It was actually pretty cool. On Monday, so a year later, right? And we look at it a week or so ago, Jerry Springer passed away. And again, the response specifically from Black women, and that's why I wanted to highlight this tweet, specifically from Black women, was a whole lot of, oh no, Jerry Springer died. Oh no, that's sad. And when Kevin Samuels died, When he died, a lot of women mocked him. A lot of black women mocked him. Why do y'all think that is?
a, a lot of things. So of course, I'll start with, black women subscribe to Kevin Samuels, so they were going to be quicker to hear from him than they were from Jerry Springer. I believe that Jerry Springer ruined generations of people, along with Maury Povich, along with, Love and Hip Hop, whatever the case. Like, from that point, we grew into just trash TV all the time. So if you could, like, early recruit in another way, um,
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
Jerry
Why
Springer.
why we celebrate trash?
Yeah, like you ring that bell and people going to take off fighting. Like, you know, Jerry Springer and Maury were one and the same. And it's crazy because neither one of their shows started that way. Like, if you go
Nope.
back to the early days of Jerry Springer and Maury Povich, like they were Maury Povich, because
Yeah.
people don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were like talk show hosts
Yeah.
who dealt with real issues and real people. Like, the reason I fell in love with Maury is because Maury, like, took them badass kids and put
Yep.
them, like,
Yep.
scared straight
Scared
camps.
straight.
And they were in prisons, locked up with prisoners, and by the time they got out, they had appreciation and respect for their parents. Like,
Yep.
and that was good programming to see. Like, I don't ever want to be in this position. And somewhere he pivoted to "You Are Not the Father," and like, and that's the same boat that I put Jerry Springer in. Like, you literally set back communities of people for your ratings, and it's unforgivable.
Yeah, it got out of hand, totally out of hand.
Yeah. And the irony being that wasn't who either of them were. Specifically Jerry Springer and Maury Povich. Like, that's not who they were as people, like as human beings, as men. Again, you see it in their early shows, but again, when the coin becomes your god, then you'd be willing to compromise maybe some of your morals and some of your ethics. I mean, I guess the good thing that came out of Jerry Springer, although it was trash, right? I guess the good thing that came out of that was, Steve Wilkos got a show. You know what I'm saying?
And
So I mean, so there's that. But I feel like Steve Wilkos, because if you look at the Steve Wilkos show, like, it wasn't trash TV. Like, he actually dealt with more serious stuff, and he was more of a, nah, you're not going to do that on my show. We don't do that here. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I feel like he might have still been able to get something, but he might not have got his shine as a security officer if it wasn't for all that crap. So, you know. But either way, though, the reception that Kevin Samuels got, the mocking, the laughing, the jeering, just disrespectful stuff. You know what I mean? And again, largely from black women. And all Kevin Samuels did, to be honest, again, you go back and look at anything he said, listen to anything he said, all he ever did was tell black women how to be better. Which, again, you should always want somebody in your corner that's going to talk to you about being better. By the way, said LA's going to close it out tonight. Right now, the Lakers are, according to my screen, 64-50. All right. Yeah. So, but yeah. So that said, again, like, I don't know, man. I can't get down with celebrating one over the other, especially when the other was actually the one that had your back. The other with Kevin Samuels was actually for. I mean, I say Jerry Springer wasn't, but he didn't portray that. But he was actually for black people getting married, get black people kids, maintaining communities and families, and that's how we continue for generations. Because if you got to get a bunch of women, they're all anti-men, and they're all with each other, then guess what they do? Guess what you don't have in the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Babies. All right, anyway. Same thing with men. But anyway. And those are the only two genders, by the way. All right. I'm sorry. Last thing, and we're not going to run through all of these, but I just want to kind of show you, keep an eye out. There'll be messages and all that stuff coming up. But last thing we want to show y'all, we're going to be doing something where we will be crowning. We'll talk about it more next week. In our opinion, the greatest sitcoms of all time. All right. So actually, so for the sake of time, next week we're going to unveil the top 10 from each decade. So from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. I don't know that there's been any good sitcoms in the 2010s because basically the 2010s are garbage. Nothing good on television. Gotta watch YouTube. That's basically it. So nothing from the 2010s. If you grew up on the 2010 stuff, you're too young to be watching the show. But we're gonna go through that more so next week. Again, for the sake of time, y'all been rolling with us for a little bit. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all, every single one of y'all, for hanging in there with us. I think we was gonna get to tribute to the mom. So let's go ahead to that, man. Real quick on our way out, shout out the moms. I want to know from you guys what one thing that you learned from your mom that you'll never forget, and one thing you understand about your mom now that you that you appreciate about your mom now that you didn't understand then, like when you were a kid. All right, what do you appreciate you didn't understand when you were a kid, and what's something that you learned from your mom that you never forget as we roll into Mother's Day?
One thing I'll appreciate is the sacrifice. Because as a young kid, all I knew was that food was on the table, and all I knew was that every Christmas and birthday, I didn't want for anything. And we had big ass stockings, like they were like plastic, 4 foot tall stockings filled with stuff. And I can guarantee you, my mother probably paid $15 a piece to fill those stockings, but she found the right things to put in there. So I grew greater appreciation for the sacrifice because I know my family struggled. So sacrificial meals, there was just a ton of sacrifice. What was the other question?
Okay, we're back. All right. What's one? So, what do you appreciate? And what's one thing that you learned from your mom that you'll never forget? A
So,
lesson that you learned.
to be on time. Rita didn't play about being on time. So even now, I function with being on time. I hate being late. I hate people who are late. Like I hate feeling rushed. So I try to create time to do whatever it is that I need to do, like a window to get out so that I know I'm leaving early enough to be a part of things. Yeah, I'm a stickler for time, and that comes directly from my mother. If she told you she was gonna be there at 12 o'clock, she was sitting outside at 11:58 and was gonna call you at 12 o'clock to figure out why you hadn't started walking out the door.
Word, that's facts.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
What you
yeah.
got, Rick?
Oh man, I was sitting up here thinking, man, like I definitely appreciate my mother for the as Kev said, just the sacrifice that she made, and that definitely stuck with me, and I even learned from that. Like I know that there are sacrifices that I gotta make, for my family now. That it's not even a thought. It's just I just got to go do it. And I guess one of the biggest lessons that I learned, from my mother is, I've always seen her, and she's always been this hardworking, um, you know, just hardworking and staying true to who she is, and that's what I got from her. It's like, the work must continue, and staying true to who you are, and that's what I got from her, man. That's what I do now. I'm always willing to, help somebody out, and dig in and do the hard work. Um, so I really do appreciate that about her, man. I really do. Shot time. Somebody's on mute.
Dang, I'm on mute. You're right. Dang, that's crazy. All right,
You
well,
waited to the end of the show.
hey man, you know why? It was an omen. I did it to myself. I had a shot already poured. So
Hey, but while we
I
take
wait.
this, I want to, I know we asked that question. I want to shout out just good mothers. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, we
Yeah.
got a ton of them that tuned
Shout
in.
out to them.
We had a
Yeah.
ton of tuned in tonight. Mothers, mother figures. Like I go back to a point where, and this was probably during election time, where the conversation about like abortions was happening, and my stance is, and it is and always has been, and this is not to spark the debate, just kind of to tell a story that we don't tell a woman to do with their body what to do with their bodies. And one of my old parents had asked me, like, but you have such a beautiful son, how would you have felt if his mother decided not to have him? And I was like, well, I watched her almost die. Like, I was with her in the hospital and she almost died. So, like, I could never, for everything that I did while she was pregnant, I still couldn't compare it to her laying on a table while they extracted a human from her body and she almost died. So, like, that decision is hers. And like, I will forever be grateful to Jakara for, like, putting her life on the line to give me my son. So Mother's Day isn't light for me, like, and for multiple reasons. I miss my mother every day, and I wish that I could talk to her and see her. She's not here, so Mother's Day hurts. But I also realize I can celebrate Mother's Day because I have a son from a woman who basically gave her life so that that point could get here. So, like, this is a toast and a shout out to all mothers in every capacity, because even the ones who didn't do their very best, still had to get the child into the world.
Yep. Yep.
So, here's to the spectrum. That's
You're a mother no matter what. And we salute you. To answer my own question, my mom was steadfast, or is steadfast and unmovable. And I get a lot of that from her side of the family. Just the stand by the courage of your convictions, was always something that, my mom does, continues to do. My mom's attitude, there's like you almost never see her upset. Like they just never, like almost never, almost never. I can probably literally, in my almost 40 years on this earth, I can probably literally count on, like, one hand probably how many times I saw my mom not. Now she was very straightforward, she's very serious, but like where she just wasn't like either even keel or happy. Like her spectrum was even keel to happy, right? And I still to this day I aspire and strive to be like that every day. So I don't know if she's on or not, but Mom, I love you, and I appreciate you for all your sacrifice and everything that you've done for our family, and everything that you taught me to be, everything you taught my brother and my sister to be. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like that's the matriarch of our family right there. And in spite of some lessons maybe not being taught on her own, in spite of that, like always she's always accountable. That my mom was one of those few women that I saw always be accountable. Like she would again stand by the courage of her convictions, but if she was wrong about something, she would always own it. You know what I mean? Like I never saw her with the yeah, but I never saw her do that. So I gotta give her a ton of credit for that as well. Again, that's where I get it from too. If I'm wrong about something, all right, all right, you got it, my bad. You right, that's fair. Okay, and I get that from her too. So again, a lot of who I am came from my mom. So you know, and to the other women, the mothers in my life, my oldest mom and my wife, of course. I mean, again, you know, um, it's because of you that we even, that we even can have a lot of these conversations. So, you know, and big super shout out to my wife for providing all the above, not just the kids, but also peace and the, you know, respect and the love, everything else. So, super shout out. All right, that's it. That's it. And definitely goodbye. All right, Kev, what you got for us, man, on the way out? You got anything?
I want to double down on that. With Mother's Day weekend approaching, I truly hope that every woman, every mother figure, every grandmother, every aunt, somebody who's had to fill in their role. I hope y'all know that you are appreciated, you are loved, you are respected, you are necessary, for the times that we're in. And on the other side, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. This show was fire, and tonight was wild as I don't know what. So it only gets better from here. So pull up on us next week, and yeah, man, get some water in your system. I'm drunk. I'm drunk.
Yes. Thanks for still rocking with us. For those that are still tuned in with us, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Like Kevin said, hit that like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, you great moms. You keep doing um, what you're doing and keep you know being doing the best that you know how to do. We support you. We're here, and for everybody, go on that journey and get through the things that you got to go through on a daily basis and enjoy life. We're here for a flicker, so enjoy life, man. The wife and I, we're gearing up. Like it's about to, like, we've had some great times and we about to turn it up another notch. Like we got some plans in mind, some goals and dreams. And I'm encouraging all you guys to just go do the same thing. Like, don't wait. Set a goal, set a plan, set a goal, make a plan, and just go do it. Go do it.
Just do it. Did I nail it? Was that good? Okay. All right. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But um, ditto to everything that they said. Shout out to all the mothers out here. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. Listen, man. I want to be very clear on something. I am absolutely 100% pro women. Okay, 100% pro children. Okay, and the only thing that I would say is that I will do everything that I can in with whatever power I have to defend women, to defend women's spaces, to defend children, and to defend children's spaces from predators. Straight up. All right. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm also going to continue to do everything I can to shine some light for accountability purposes, shine some light on some of the mistakes on some of the mishaps, some of the missteps that we have within our community, because the only way that we can grow from this is to acknowledge it and to move on from it. Okay. And to move forward, to continue to move forward. I believe that there are a number of us that feel the same way, just like all of us here. And so, you guys, look, y'all tell a friend to tell a friend, because the only way we can do this is if we think towards the future and we're not thinking about our present. We got to be thinking about our kids when they're our age, and not just us right now. Again, you got to do what you got to do. I get that, but we have to pave the way for the next generation, and honestly, the generation after that. It's on us. We talk about the kids today. The kids today were raised by us. Okay? So we can't take that responsibility lightly. That's all I got for y'all, man. I appreciate every single one of you. As always, we are ready to get out of here. Kev, we up by 15.
He's out.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He got nothing left in him.
He's out.
We out of here, man. Tune in next week again, Friday, same back time, same back channel. We gonna get out y'all, man. We love y'all. Appreciate you.
What does independent woman mean to you?
I got it. I could do it by myself. I don't need nobody. I got my own money, my own car, my own house, my own. Shut up. You ain't supposed to do it by yourself. You're supposed to have a partner. You ain't supposed to be in this world alone. You know how hard it is carrying all the groceries in by yourself? That is stressful. You need a man for that, okay?
Yeah, what about the pushback though from the women that are saying, well, I tried that and there's no quality men that's stepping up to the plate? What about those women who have gone through that experience and say, you know what, man, I'm just going to try to do it myself just because I haven't been successful?
I say
narcissists are made. They're not born. And so this is really a byproduct of parenting. This one falls largely on the shoulders of the parents. And listen, I've seen very well-intentioned, good parents wind up with narcissistic kids. Narcissism is really a byproduct of simultaneously overindulging and underindulging a child, which is sort of like, how do you do both? I'll tell you how you do both.